All right, welcome back to the Real Precious. Good evening to all. I see a lot of people in the chat already.
Ooh,
I
people
see
have
them
popped
in there
in.
already. Before we get to the chat, I do want to check on my co-host. How are you this evening, Mr. Actual King Smith?
Hey, first of all, the Real Precious, thank you for having me. You know, you got the real and you got the actual. All right. But it is Monday. I just got done coming off of a live stream with my lady on the King and Me show. We go live right before you do here. So Mondays are always my busiest days, but I do look forward to being here. Thank you for having me. Hope you're doing all right. How about yourself? You know, Philly didn't look too good coming out of that game.
Oh God,
How
man. The
you how
only thing good I
you
got out of
doing?
that evening was some good food. Okay. That's the only thing good that I got out of that evening. Some
No doubt, no doubt.
Woo. Yeah, we didn't look too good, but playoff season is starting, so we shall
Hey,
see.
everybody that made it 0-0, so it's anybody's game at this point. Shout out Baltimore in the building.
All right, so I'm doing really good. I'm excited to have this show this evening. I definitely look forward to the chat. This is a call-in show, so I will be dropping the link for those who would like to join us. I believe Hank will be joining us shortly. He has a show on Monday too. You know, we be working over here. You know, the men that's on the panel be working. Okay. So before we get into the chat and all who are here, I just wanted to let you guys know that tonight's show is sponsored by jecreativehosting.com. So if you guys need a website, you need someone to create and host your website, definitely go over there to jecreativehosting.com. Use the special code of HCM22 for your new website. Definitely hit that like button. Share this live with somebody. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, because we getting into some things this evening, and I think it's going to be interesting. Again, this is a call-in show. I do want to talk to the chat for a little bit. Snuggles 668 got the eyes way this afternoon. They was in here this afternoon, child, looking around, trying to see what was going on. We live now. We live now. All right. Sarika Smith is in the building saying, evening, everyone. Please hit the like button as you come in. Please do that. Thank you so much. It's free to be here. Just hit that like button. Good evening, Sister Precious, the chat and the mods. Good evening, Jeffrey. Thank you so much for being here. He also says, and Happy New Year to Frenchie, peace to the chat. How you doing? I see Q, Mr. Quincy is in the chat. Good evening, good people. Who else we got in here? Jeffrey Woodland, I see you in the chat. God happy to me. Thank you for being here, Michelle. Good to see you, love. Jason Nelson, thank you so much for being here. Great evening to you as well. SB, how about that service though? How about that service though? If y'all don't go to Change Church, y'all don't know what I'm talking about. Y'all don't know what I'm talking about. But this year it's up. Okay, it's up. Who else is in here? Gunna, thank you so much. I appreciate your love. YMCYBF, Miss Precious. Hola. Darnell, I see you in the chat. Thank you so much. I'm working, but I'm listening. I appreciate you. I appreciate the multi-step. Okay, I appreciate it. Who else is in the building? Ori, East. Jersey, what up? What up, though? Hola, thank you so much for being here. Embrace the grace. I see you. Good evening, Queen and King, to the chat. Okay, Brock, I see you. It's been a while. Good evening, Precious, and co-host like the hair Precious, and happy 2024. You know, I'm trying to grow it out. You know, I'm always cutting it. I always be like, you know, or just get the clippers. I'm trying to grow it out. So we'll see how that goes. Yes, it is up. Okay, it's up. All right, y'all, thank you guys so much for being here. Y'all know on Monday nights we do mixed messages and then we get into our show. And so today's mixed messages is going to be short and sweet, but this does happen. And I think that the guy's question at the end is kind of comical, but he really wants to know, or in his mind, he thinks that women are weird, and we're going to see why. So thank you guys again for being here. We are going to start the mixed messages. King, you start out on the messages. All right.
Oh crap. Hold up.
Can you see it?
No, I can't. Did you send them to me? If you didn't, let me see if I can bring it up.
And I usually always do too. All right, let me see.
Yeah, even if I make it bigger on my cell phone, I can't see it. Nah.
All right, I'm sending it to you now.
I had hope.
No worries. I'm sending it to you now. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Cam, I see you in the chat. Thanks so much for being here. Sean, you're here in the chat. If you'd like to join at any time, you definitely can. I'm going to pin the link. As a matter of fact, let me do that while King is pulling up the mixed messages.
All right. And once you do that, I am ready when you are, Precious.
All righty. All right. All right. All right. So let me get it back up. And action.
All right. That's my name.
That's not your full name.
Right. But Zay is literally a part of my name and on my birth certificate. My full name is a little too complicated.
Okay, so tell me your full name.
Damn. Am I being arrested? What's yours?
That's the first thing you should know when getting to know someone. Why would I tell you my name if you can't tell me yours?
I did tell you my name, just not the full version. Family, friends, and everybody who know me calls me Zay. Zay is me. I am Zay.
I understand what you're saying, but never mind. It's okay, Zay. I wish you well, sir.
What I do? Man, dating is so hard nowadays, bro. What the fuck?
And then read the very bottom.
All right, so honest question. Why are women so effing weird?
All righty. So, what do you think? Do you think she's weird?
Yeah, she's being weird, or more specifically, the way I'd say it is she's being difficult. The brother didn't dodge the question, in my opinion. That's what he goes by. He stated that literally it's on his birth certificate, and that's what he goes by. There's a lot of people these days that, hey, my name is so and so, but I go by XYZ. I got a couple of coworkers who I work with that are African. Their real first name is like 15 freaking syllables and 36 different letters. All right. And they go by CJ. So so her pressing him on what his actual full government name is and him addressing it and her still being difficult by it, he dodged the red flag. He dodged the walking red flag.
Oh no, King. I gotta disagree with you there. I have to disagree with you.
Come on.
Do you know what? This happened to me before. Okay. Dating this guy, right? And he introduced himself to me. Lord Jesus, let me change the names to protect the innocent.
There you go.
Say he introduced his name to me as James, right? And so we're out and about in the town, and somebody comes up to him and goes, "What up, Chris?" And I'm like, "Who, Chris? Who is that?" Like, it's a whole different name.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, "So why did you introduce me as this name, but other people call you this name?"
Was it a first date?
No, we had known each other for quite a while, and we're out. And so then it started happening a lot. We started seeing a lot of people that were then calling him by the other name. And I'm like, why would you introduce yourself as one person and everybody calls you something else? So when I saw this text message change with each other, or with the guy and the girl, I'm like, what is the big deal with giving her your name? Because with women, when you start off lying and playing games, we gonna question every single thing you say.
That's true, but come on, Precious. This guy, again, if his name is Wakanda Malazube Zaytitious,
your name is Makala Malazube.
You just trying to get that so that you could go run that background check like Embrace the Grace said.
You're damn right. You're damn right. Guess what? We're in 2024 now, okay? But people are not who they say that they are. So
I think I sympathize, and here's why. Your example of what you gave, that's what I had to do for the longest. My government name on my social security card is first name King, last name Smith. That is my government name. It wasn't the name I was born with. I changed my name in 2013. And for a while, there were some mixed crowd people that knew me before my name change that would call me by my born name. I never go by that name, but family and friends from back in the day, it was always weird when I would introduce myself as King, and then they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Aaron?" And I'm like, I don't go by Aaron no more. Oh, what's that all about? Yeah, I changed my name. Right. And then you just don't want to get into all that. I'm just trying to hang out with you. I'm trying to go on this date with you, Precious. I'm trying to have a good time. If people know me by some other name, yeah, I might have gone by an old name, but that ain't me no more.
That, to me, that's different though, because if you changed your name, then you don't even go by the other name anymore. And I would hope that you do break that down to whoever you're with, because again, that's a part of you. Like when I got adopted, my last name changed, right? And so when I was in elementary school, it went from one name to another name. On Facebook, when I changed it from my adopted last name back to my biological last name, people are like, well, did you get married? What happened? And you do have to explain these things, but it's a part of you. The name is a part of you. So I can understand if you don't introduce yourself as that person anymore, but she shouldn't find out from somebody else that that's what your name is, or she shouldn't find out from another source that you could have been somebody else. Because that again, a woman will question everything that you say if you're not upfront with her, if you're not honest with her. Now, if you're holding this information for a certain reason, I think that you should be honest and say that too. Like, you know, I wanted to hold this information because I didn't trust you, or I didn't trust, you know, the relationship in certain stages. And a lot of people don't think that you have to say those things, but you leave the mind to wander too far when you leave room for speculation. It's kind of like being in the court of law. You know, you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt that what you're saying is the freaking truth. And if you can't prove that, and again, she finds out some other way, she's gonna feel a certain type of way about that.
So what was old buddy's explanation to you, or what you end up figuring out?
Honestly, this was so long ago. But what they were calling him was his government. That was what he was born with. The name that he gave, and I don't even know if I ever really got a clear answer from him, honestly. Hey, Arpane.
Hello.
Good evening. I don't even remember getting a clear answer from him, but it was just, and then, you know, some things turned out where it was just like, okay, you know, the character, you know, this also goes with character. You know, women will base your character off of that too. You talk about dating, you talk about, you know, you wanting to be close to me, you wanting to know certain things about me, and I can't even know your name. That's fudged up. that's how I look at it.
Okay.
Hey Trey, how are you?
Everybody pulling up. What up, Trey? What up, Arpane?
All right, what's going on? What's going on?
All right, so have you guys been listening?
No, I just popped in. I went a little long while the show. So
I heard long enough to hear you say fudge.
Yeah.
Me and King read a back and forth messages back and forth. You want to do it again, King, real quick, since it's not.
It's short. Yeah, let's do it.
yeah, sure, let's do it.
Okay. All right, and you guys may not be able to see it, but use your ears. Use your ears. All right, go ahead, King.
That is my name.
That's not your full name.
Right. But Zay is literally a part of my name and on my birth certificate. My full name too complicated, shouty.
Okay, so tell me your full name.
Damn. Am I being arrested? What's yours?
That's the first thing you should know when getting to know someone. Why would I tell you my name if you can't tell me yours?
I did tell you my name, just not the full version. Family, friends, and everybody who know me calls me Zay. Zay is me. I am Zay.
I understand what you're saying, but never mind. It's okay, Zay. I wish you well, sir.
What I do? Dating is so hard nowadays, bruh. What the fuck? And did he follow that up with, or somebody else did? Honest question. Why is women so effing weird? That's what it said. My English is bad. I am from Alabama, but it literally said, why is women so effing weird?
So do you guys think that women are weird because they want to know your full name?
No.
I am standing on the island of one. Come on, Trey. How about you?
Yes, that is weird as hell. First of all, Trey isn't my real name. Trey is a nickname. Liar. Trey, no, I'm not a liar. I'm a third generation name, and Trey is a nickname for a third generation. So I'm not lying to you. Trey is my name, but it is not my full name. And if I don't know you, you get Trey. And when I get to know you, you get the full actual name.
So how long does that take?
There's no time limit on this when I feel good and comfortable. when Precious, when you give me the warm and fuzzies, I'll tell you my real name. So no, she's weird. She's being weird because his name. So Zay is a part of his name. So what is this, like Devon Zay or some shit like something like that? Like his name is Zay. She told him his name.
How's she being weird though? How's she being weird?
Come on, Arpane, what you got?
No, here's my thing. I hear what you're saying, that you might not trust her, but it's not unusual for a woman to want to know your name, especially if she thought there might be something. I mean, or how come the guy just says, "Hey, listen, I don't know you that well, so I'm not going to tell you my full name just yet." You
It's
could have said that.
implied. It's
Yeah, huh?
implied.
No. You could tell her. What's wrong with just telling her that? I mean, if we're gonna have a relationship or we're gonna talk to each other, you're gonna imply shit that let me know. That's what women do. Right? You can't read my mind. You know what? Shit. You're supposed to be able to read my mind. I mean, come on.
He's not asking her to read her mind. He's asking her to accept the
No.
name.
What I'm saying is,
He's
I get
asking
what
her
you're saying.
to
You just want to
accept the
argue. What
name
I'm just
that
trying
he
to say.
gave her. He's asking her to accept the name that I gave you. The name I gave you was Trey. You can call me Trey until.
Wait, but
Okay,
if you
Trey.
said
So
that, that's okay.
what if you choked on the bone? We gotta take you. We gotta take you to the hospital.
I have a
Be like,
driver's
this man
license
is
I have a driver's
racist.
license in my pocket in my wallet that has my actual name on it, which me being a former law enforcement officer would know that I would check your pockets to see if you had a wallet in there, and I would pull your license out to get your real name. You don't even need that information.
Right.
Secondly, there's an emergency contact in pretty much everybody's phone.
Let's put it this way. First of all, nobody's checking any boxes because they're gonna think you robbing them. You have to check them if they're down there.
But this has been a phenomenon, okay,
Yeah.
for a long time. Men, especially in the Black community, I don't know what the white folks do. I don't know what the Hispanics do. I don't know what anybody else, but I know that brothers love to go by a nickname, and they will not give you their real. Look, Pookie and Ray Ray didn't just pop up out of nowhere. Those were nicknames, okay? You got Boo
family
Baby.
members whose real names I still don't know.
How did I get put in the same category as Pookie and Ray Ray? Because I
That's
wasn't giving
because
my
you wanted
full
to be
name.
there. You're the trailer Pookie and Ray Ray. There you go, man.
Look, I do know
High-priced
here in the
Pookie and
state.
Ray Ray.
I'm sorry. Now, I was saying, I do know here in the state of Maryland, it's easy for somebody when you have somebody's first and last name to go and look up and see if they've ever been arrested, had a court case or anything. That's a real thing. I don't know if every state like that, but Maryland makes it easy if you know first and last name.
Which is why I don't give my first and last name.
What you got to hide?
Because I live in Maryland. That's why.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
I'm not lying. Listen. If you were to sit around my family calls me Trey. Everybody that knows me calls me Trey. I'm not lying to you. This is the name I go by. But my real first and last name, I'll let you know when you need to know. It is a need to know basis.
You could it with a stone cold killer. That's what I'm saying, Frenchie. That's all I'm saying.
Knowing his first and last name ain't gonna change the fact that he is stone cold killer. You just know
right,
who's actually the stone cold
give me a
killer
little
now.
bit of a head start as I make my exit. Shoot.
No, y'all women are weird. It's just my man hit the nail on the head. Y'all are weird. This is what happens. This is what happens with a lot of women.
The only one.
You go out. You daughter to be out and not really know what the man's name is.
Well, listen, no. See, y'all love to do this. This is the thing that the people are doing. Well, if it was your mama, what would you say about your mama? Listen, if my daughter met a guy and his name was Zay, I would tell my daughter, you give him an equal nickname. You don't give him your full name either.
I cannot.
That's what I would tell her.
And he gave me a nickname, and I don't know your full name. I'm gonna act like a fool for a little bit for you. I'm gonna act like a fool, okay? But just know in the back of my head, I know you're withholding information from me, and it's not gonna end well because when you withhold information, first of all, you withholding the information, which means that you're lying and thinking that you're not going to get caught. But then when you get caught, then what?
What exactly are you lying about?
You're lying. If you don't want to tell someone information, you're withholding information from them, right? Now, if there's a reason why you're withholding that information, then just say why you're withholding the information. But if you're intentionally withholding information and someone finds out the information, again, they're going to second guess everything that you say.
Help me out, Precious. I'm not making a correlation to the name. Help me out.
Who you want? Okay, you want King to help you out? Okay, King, open him out.
No, Precious. She's the one making
Yeah,
the
that was
jump.
Precious point.
Yeah, that's
No.
Precious point.
Why would you want to start a relationship not being hot, honest, open, and transparent? If you're not going to be that, just say you want a bone. Okay, just say, look, I don't want to know your name. You ain't got no mind. Pretty face, nice waist. Like, look,
so Precious.
This is it, and this is all.
So if I said my real name is Randall McGillicuddy and I want a bone, does that make it better than me saying my name is Trey and I want a bone?
You have to look at Randall to see if Randall's a killer.
So if I tell you I'm Randall McGillicuddy, it gives you an opportunity to do your homework first to decide whether or not I'm worthy of boning. But if I tell you my name is Trey, you don't get to do the background check. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm still coming in wondering if your first name is Trey, because guess what? Y'all like to play these little mind games. So let's play them. Come on.
But that's the thing. I wouldn't tell you that it's my first name. I would tell you it's a nickname. I would tell you the honest truth. I would say this is a nickname.
What's your first name? What would you say?
And I would deflect and avoid the question somehow.
Oh, y'all don't deserve nothing good out here in these streets. Y'all don't deserve nothing good, okay? I'm telling you, this is crazy. Crazy. Are y'all hearing this in the chat? I know y'all got to be hearing this in the chat.
Hey,
okay?
Right now with everybody else, we 2-2 though. I'll take it. All
right, let's see what we give them too much info nowadays to be given nicknames, to be honest. She just wants something real and honest. Yes. If I'm being real and honest with you, why can't you be real and honest with me? That's all I ask for. Honestly, I really don't ask for a lot. A lot of people who know me, I don't ask for a lot. I just want you to be real. That's it. And that's all. That's it. That's all. How much is that going to cost you? Why are you talking to me? Then is what I want to know. Why are you talking to me? Then is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Quincy says, and blessed of the chat, I kind of just jumped in without salutations. It's all
man. Salute, brother.
I think that could have been a double high. All right. Giving honor to God, pastor members, and friends. What you say? Y'all men sound crazy for not wanting to state your name. I get it if you're moving a certain type of way in the streets, but if you're not that guy, then why do it? Right? Why do that?
I got to be a street dude to protect my identity.
Well. If you're an upstanding citizen, what exactly are you? You know, and you're interested in this woman. What exactly? Why hold back?
Well, where does this end? You want my first and last name, and then what is it next? My social security number, my date of birth, my driver's license number. Like, where does this end with this information gathering thing that y'all do?
What? How did we get here? What do you mean?
No, I've had it.
Women want men to continuously be men of character. We just want you to consistently be a man of character. It doesn't mean you have to give us your bank account on the first date. It doesn't mean that you have to give us your social security number. It just means that when I ask you a question, you're going to have integrity in how you handle and how you deal with me.
Do women show up on dates with integrity? Do they show up as themselves? Are they actually who they purport themselves to be? Because I've seen women show up on dates with fake hair, fake lashes.
I knew where it was going
makeup,
with that.
Nails. You're not who you're claiming that you to be, but I gotta be honest, open, and transparent. I gotta be hot, but you ain't gotta be hot apparently. That's interesting.
Women do have to be hot. I'm not saying that women don't have to be hot. They do have to be honest, open, and transparent. I talk about it all the time. But when you already start out being that way, a woman is only going to be 2 to 3 times worse than you. She's going to be 2 to 3 times worse than you. Because when you start out that way and she find out, and she's a vindictive type of woman and she don't care about you, or she she just been scorned and hurt. The last person done hurt her real bad, and she found out that something you're saying is not adding up. She's going to be vindictive. She's going to probably try to flat your tire. Like, men think that, oh, well, she's not showing up as herself, so I'm not going to show up as myself. And we just going, you know, like I said earlier, you want to play this game? Let's play it. Most women are not just going to shut it down. I'm somebody that's probably just going to walk away. I'm just going to be like, look, you playing games. It's too much going on. I don't got time for that because you interrupted my piece. If I can't even know your damn name, I mean, shoot, we can't go for coffee. We can't, I'm just not going to deal with it. But a lot of
women, how much you like them.
Right. Right. But most women will try to get back at you. They will do something in order to see, I'm going to show you. So you got to be careful who you try to trick and deceive, because a lot of women will have a tricking and deceive a spirit for real. And then you be like at the police station at your job filing a report. And they be like, Trey, is that?
No, they know my real name at the job.
She be over there chasing you and you do a Jonathan Majors, you get found guilty.
Oh, gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
Nice.
You got to tell him no.
I will say this though, Precious, the same way y'all can walk away, you know, man, we can walk away too.
Right. And you're right. But you're going to come across somebody that you're not going to really want to walk away from. You're going to come across somebody that is like, dang, like, why'd I lie to her about my first name? Like, you know what I mean?
But Precious, that don't make sense. If I don't want to walk away from her, I would tell her my name.
Okay. But my thing was, when do you do that? And it seems like it takes a while for you to get your name out there. I mean, first name. I'm telling somebody my first name off the first meeting. Then what am I going to come up to you and say? Hey, my name is Stacy. How are you? How you been?
Do your friends and family call you Stacy?
No, but I'm talking about the example that I gave when I dated a guy and he gave me a whole a name and we out and people are calling him by a whole nother name.
Well, yeah, come on, that's different. That doesn't make any sense. If you're purporting to be something that you're not, that's different. But in the example, he gave his name. He just gave a shortened version of his name. I'm giving the name that everybody calls me because of me being third generation. It's a nickname. So I'm not lying. We're not lying about our name. We're just giving you a different name than what you would be expecting based on our first name.
You're not lying, but you're definitely withholding information voluntarily. You're voluntarily withholding that information for reasons only you know.
That's fair. I'll withhold information as long as she withholds her true beauty. It's all fair to me.
Hola, Sean. How are you this evening?
I'm good, thank you. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
That's good. Are y'all just trolling, or y'all really feel that way?
Quincy said night before the marriage, baby. My real name Randall.
I mean, whether they change their name or not is really not, the argument. But she asked him the name, and he was deflecting it for whatever reason. And he said, "Oh, my name is too long." All right, we can understand that. She asked him what the actual long name was, and he went ahead and made some excuse. And I'm like, yo, what's the point? That's just immature on both of them.
Yep.
You could have explained it, as King said earlier. Just communicate an explanation. No harm, no foul.
He did. She still pressed though.
No, he didn't. He deflected it. He did not at all. He said, "Oh, it's too long and complicated." Yo, just what's the point of just saying it? If it's this is why I don't say it. It's too long, complicated. It's abazubuzubuze, and keep it moving. But instead, you want to play the game, and yo, it's immature.
Well,
Grow up.
why isn't that answer acceptable?
Yeah, but
My
why
name
is
is my
that?
name is
Yeah,
too
I
long.
don't
Why is
understand.
that an
Because
acceptable answer?
because it's immature. It's acceptable, absolutely. It's just immature. Why are we acting immature? Just be straight up. Yo, this is why it's uppa dooba dooba zooba zay, because you took her out and this you was interested in her, and keep it moving. Otherwise, it's immature, and you got all
Where
rights
do
to be
y'all come up with these
immature.
where y'all come up with these dating rules? Like, is there a handbook? Is there a law?
Well, it's
Is it,
called
where do
maturity,
these rules come up? If I give the name I give you is the name I give you.
and that's immature if you're not gonna
That,
give her
that's not
straight.
No,
that's not immature.
no.
It's the
Well, I
name
mean,
I gave you.
I understand, but if it's not your name, it's your nickname, and she's asking you for your name and you're deflecting it, that's immature. Why are you on a date with her? Leave her alone. Go deal with somebody you just want to hit. It's
I don't
easy.
understand the correlation
It's
between a
nothing.
name and
I
name and
mean, our
maturity.
name can be
I don't get that.
emotional and look, because if you are going with the intent of getting to know someone, dating them, and things of that nature, and you start off by giving a name. Now, I can understand what Trey is saying to a certain extent. Trey is third generation. That's the nickname my family calls me. The same thing in the example. But if she says, okay, but what's your full name? If you don't want to give it, then you have to understand that if she decides to continue to talk to you, interact with you, she's going to be second guessing what you're saying.
So let me get this right, Precious. I just want to make sure I understand this.
Yeah.
Women can approach men, be with men, and never be their real self in the beginning. Never. You're not who you truly are in the beginning. But if I give you a nickname, now I'm omitting, I'm lying. I don't and I'm being immature now.
Yeah, well, let me say this. If you asked her, yo, can I see you without your makeup, blah 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 blah, and she did the same thing, the deflection and all of the excuses, I would call her the same. Yo, he's asking you, can I? You already like her because you out there with her all her fakeness. You enjoyed it to take her out. You saw the fakeness. You didn't say nothing about the fakeness. You were there. Now, if went with you and you told her your name, and then she had some hunch that it's not your real name, and she asked you questions about it, and you're kind of like deflecting. Is all I'm saying is immaturity. You could say
I got a hunch.
as you did.
I got a hunch
Huh?
that's not your real hair. I got a hunch that's not your real lashes. Is she
And,
gonna
and you can say that.
is she gonna rip her lashes off and take her hair out? No.
Well, she might not at that moment, but if you say,
Then she's
yo,
immature then, right?
no, wait, no, because if she's saying, I don't want to because this is me, this is the real me, then what do you call it?
I call her a liar.
Okay.
But I
So is it
I know that she's lying from the beginning.
true? But you're out with her.
So you're
That's my
counting
point.
on a woman not even questioning if that's your real name.
No, I'm counting on her accepting the answer that I gave her. If she asks me what does Zay stand for, and I say, well, my name is long and complicated, that's it. That's all. Let's move on.
Why can't she ask you, okay, can give me the complication? This is my point. She asked for the
The same
complication,
reason she not ripping her weave and her lashes off.
but you didn't ask her to. So
I
let's
am.
not go.
I'm gonna tell you straight up. I don't like
Well,
that shit. Take that shit off.
but that and if she doesn't comply, you have footing on your point. I get it. But the whole thing is you didn't ask her for that. You out with her. You didn't ask her none of that. Now that she's asking you your real name, now you want to go, well, what's your real hair? You ain't asked her that.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander. That's how I see it.
And that's and in fairness,
if she's asking me to be real, I'm gonna ask her to be real.
right? And respectfully, that tit for tat is the immaturity that I was speaking of.
Yes, it's
No. That's not. No. Don't switch up. because you said that the immaturity was simply the fact that he didn't want to answer the question the way that the question was posed.
That
Now
too.
you're saying that. Oh, now you're saying it's tit for tat.
I'm adding.
Is immature. You're
Tit
switching
for
up.
tat is immature. No, I'm not. I'm saying they're both immature. I ain't switching. I'm saying they're both immature.
The first version is not immature. You take the name I give you, or you step the hell off. It's one or the other.
Okay, and that's immature. That's a really definitive.
It's not immature. I'm not required by any law. I'm not required to do by any dating rule to give you my real first and last name. I don't know where that came from.
You're absolutely not. You're absolutely not. It doesn't
And it
negate the
make
fact.
me immature if I don't want to.
Why doesn't it? Why doesn't it?
Because my maturity isn't based on my ability to give out my real name. That's what
it absolutely can be. It absolutely can be. It absolutely can be.
You stop giving out your real name.
It's not that I stopped giving out my real name. Most of the time, the women that I dated already knew what my real name was based on the circumstance, whether it was through work or through a friend or through, whatever the case. They knew what my real name was. Most of them were actually learning that Trey was a nickname. They didn't know why people were calling me Trey. So that's how it worked. That's how I went most of the time. You got to remember the world I come from, military law enforcement. Yeah. They actually call you by your last name. So everybody already knew where I was at. But in this particular
and
case,
in fairness,
when I meet a woman out in the street and I introduce myself as Trey, you want to know when they really found out that my name isn't really Trey? When I pay for the meal and maybe she's looking at my card and she sees a different name on the card. And she wants to know, well, who's such and such?
So do you tell her?
That's me. No, I say that's me.
Okay. And in fairness, your points you're making are not immature. In fairness, what you're saying is not immature, but that's not what was displayed in that correspondence. That correspondence was like deflection. You're not really deflecting. You're just like, yo, you already acknowledged this is your name. Yeah, you already acknowledged that. That's me. Your points you're making are not immature. In fairness, what you're saying is not immature, but that's not what was displayed.
I don't know who has
correspondence.
Okay. Who is it? Sean was talking, right?
I was, but all I was saying is what Trey, what you're defending, I agree with. You're not what the correspondence that we just spoke about is saying. The guy was like, Zay is too complicated. She asked for the definition or the clarity on the complication, and he didn't want to give it.
I know,
and I'm like, what's the problem?
I know when I changed my name and after I divorced, I was getting back out there and I met some people who knew me as my old name. I got tired of saying the story of why I changed my name because it's not a simple thing to discuss. And also, I'm long-winded. So I'd say I don't want to get into it. And 9 times out of 10, that was accepted. The one time that it wasn't, the person was like, and I never heard from them. And all right, it is what it is. But hey, Tay saying that I don't want to give, it's complicated or whatever, but that is a part of my name. That should have been enough. Her pressing him that early, not worth it.
Two different things though, what you just described. You have a lot of reasons of why you're not sharing it. And that's not what Zay said. Zay said it's too complicated. She asked for the complication. It's real simple to say abaluba Zay. Your point of view wasn't simple. And you said, I'd rather not get into it. Same scenario. I agree with that. That is to stop there with what you're describing. I'm not getting that from what we just heard from the other two people.
Hey, King, you know what I noticed? Women are just fucking difficult. That's all it is. This is just nothing but her just wanting to be difficult. That's all it is. You asked the question. I gave you an answer. The conversation should be over. But no, your difficult ass want to take it to another level. And then when you didn't get what you want because he didn't fold and he didn't bend and give you what you wanted, now it's, go have a nice life. You know what I mean? No, it's you asked the question. He gave you an answer. Take the answer. You don't like the answer, fine. It is what it is. He's not required to give you his full government name. That's crazy.
You're right. Nobody's required to do anything.
Yeah.
So why not just accept the answer? It's too complicated. Zay is what everybody call me. You can call me Zay.
I mean,
Because
me personally, if the shoe was on the other foot,
it's not
I wouldn't
complicated.
accept it either.
The reasoning behind why you don't want to give it is probably complicated, but the name itself is not a complicated thing.
What was? Do we know what his full name was, by the way?
No.
It didn't show it.
Mm-mm. All right, so we got some brothers on the panel that'll just, string you along, child. They just, they just deceptive. I'm just kidding. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next video. I saw this video today, and I wanted to show it because it's funny, sad, crazy, all in one. But I wanted to dissect it because this is kind of where we are, in my opinion, in the dating world, and how easy it is for men to not have to commit and can just do what they want. We're gonna put it up on the stage.
Man.
Yeah, with your ex.
Nah, you know, I said my.
All right, he said, "What's the craziest experience with your ex?"
This experience you had with your ex.
Nah, you know, I said my ex loved me. She still love me to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So if you called, try to pull up, should answer?
right now.
Do it. Yeah.
Hello?
Hey,
What's up?
I'm P. What are you doing?
Shit, I'm chilling. Hey, pull up on me right now.
Where?
I'm finna go to the house.
Oh, you want me to come over?
Yeah,
Why you look so excited?
because I'm ready to see you.
What?
Yeah, you know how I
I can
do.
take a quick shower real quick.
I bet.
Oh,
What's up?
Hello, let me see. I gotta call one of them. I know she ain't at work. Hello? You at the game?
Yeah, it just started.
Pull up on me when you leave.
Where you at?
I'm gonna be at the house.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey,
I was thinking about pulling up on you right now.
where are you at right now?
Shit, I'm leaving Dallas, but shit, you know, I'm gonna come to you.
So it's okay.
I'm gonna pull up.
Fuck you mean? My boy went 3 for 3. The craziest experience.
So every time I watch it, it makes me laugh. Only because
sound like the same girl.
The
it's the
celebration.
celebrations.
Oh,
And
you hating, R-Pain? You hating? You hating? My man, hey, Precious, my man got sauce. He got sauce. Don't hate on him.
the celebrations at the are hilarious to me. But I wanted to talk about that video because it's one guy, I should say, and 3 girls, right? And Cam, actually, before we go ahead, do you want to?
Oh no, you can hear me now, right? I changed phones, so
Yeah.
you're good. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. I just want to know I'm good, but yeah, we good. What's poppin', Trey?
So you got one guy, 3 girls. The interviewer says, "What's your craziest experience you ever had with your ex?" And he's like, "Look, all my exes love me." So he had 3 exes that either had a wonderful experience with him, or the most toxic experience, or having the most toxic experience with him, and only one person recognizes that they're an ex, and I believe it's him. Okay.
Okay.
Why do you guys think that he could get 3 girls to drop whatever they're doing to make time for him?
Come on, man. Come
That's
on.
easy.
I'll let y'all
One
take my
letter. One letter. The D. The D. That's it. The D.
That's it. You think that's it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's all y'all got D's. So
No. Listen. It's not equal.
y'all all said no.
Uh,
I don't have them.
Precious. Let's.
So I need you to
wait,
break.
who wants to explain first?
Yo, you go ahead, man. You go.
I'm not coming from a point of the D. Listen, that may very well be true, but the fact of the matter is, if you've ever been around guys like this, and I've had some friends that are like this, you know, they're 6'4", they play basketball, or they got sauce. It just is what it is. That's the game, and it's just how it rocks. They can call up exes. They can call up girls they just met, and them girls will literally drop everything they're doing to link up with him, and he just got it like that. I can't explain it. I don't know why it is that way. I've seen the man operate. I done seen him move around in the bars. I done seen him move around in the lounges. He just got sauce, and women are attracted to him. It just is what it is.
I'll explain it. It's usually two things. It's it could be, like you said, it could be the D, or like I said, it could be the sauce. It's one of the two things. So, letters come in capitals and lower cases. They come in italicized and bolded and underlined. So that'll explain that. So there's that. But the other part where you're talking about just having the sauce is that confidence is literally the name of the game. So when you have confidence, I've literally done this with women where it's like a woman, you'll look at a woman, you're good looking or whatever like that, and you just look at them in the eyes, and now they start questioning who they are in the midst of the situation. And so guys like that, once you unlock that, it's different. You can do what you want to do, say what you want to say. I mean, it sucks on a moralistic level because that, but like I said, but it's very possible. Like I know you're gonna come back here because you ain't got nothing going for yourself. You drop everything that you have, you ain't have nothing going on but me. So like, come back through. That's what it is. So.
And one chick said, "Let me hop in the shower. I need to freshen up."
Yeah, she
said, "Let me get that raise out. I need to get clean."
But see, at first she was, go ahead, R-Pain. I'm gonna go last. R-Pain, go ahead.
I'm saying that I've seen guys do that. Like I said, to me, it's clear that he has some kind of relationship with these women, whether he's going with them or not. And it seemed like each one of them invited him back. I tell guys, if you have a girl and she invites you back more than twice, you kind of own it. You kind of own it. Whether it's a relationship or not, if they keep inviting you back, you kind of own it.
You said you own her?
Not own her, own it.
You did say own her though, right?
No, yeah.
Yeah, they got laws against that, R-Pain. I know it's been a while, but
that's why I said it.
You can't actually own humans anymore. Them days is over.
No. I didn't say the human. You own it. You guys stop acting ignorant. You know what I mean when I say you gotta own it.
Oh man.
All right, King.
Oh, that's funny.
Look, I don't think I could say it any different than what Trey said. I've seen it myself. Was I that guy? Nah. But
you get Trey shaking his head for you.
Not like that. I can't call up three of them. I may be able to call up one, but not three.
Yeah, like I've got the one that like not now. I'm in. Hey, babe, I know you watching. Not now. Let me clear that up. But was there someone who I was confident about? Absolutely. Could I go 3 and be 3 for 3? No.
I mean, let's say this as well. We don't know who he called and how they look. He could have called the ones he knows. I mean, no. I ain't mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I'm just saying I've seen both sides to where somebody got. I'll change my answer. I said the D, but I add D sauce. He had them both. So I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, but there also are people who have people right there that they know they're in that position to where, all right, I know I call her. She's just straight up. This is sex. We know what it is. She know what it is, and I can call those certain people and know what response I'm gonna get.
That Slow Tuesday. Yeah, he right. Okay, I will give Sean that point. That Slow Tuesday is the one that that you can hit up, and 10 times out of 10, that Slow Tuesday gonna be down.
Hey, but King, the statistics say that a third of men can't do that.
But I will say, I have to send you this video, Precious. It basically was a breakdown that it said like 80% of the women were going with like 25% of the men, the top 25%, and he's one of those ones. Whereas, like you said, if you have the confidence and you have a couple other things working for you, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And then you have a couple guys who are just there in the middle who got their little girlfriend or a little situation where they like, hey, I pay the bills over there, so you got to let me run through every now and then. And then the rest of the guys, they don't get nothing. So that's just kind of how it goes. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just how life works.
Hey, Precious, you see how men hate on each other though, real quick? Now it was about what she looked like, and she might be easy. No, my man just got sauce, man. He got sauce. My man he has uber confidence. You can see that it's through the roof. His confidence is through the roof, right? He knows what to say, and even if he did pick the 3 women that he knew was gonna say yes, that's smart. That was brilliant. Why would you pick the motherfucker who say no, who you know gonna say no? That don't make no sense. I would pick the 3 women that's gonna say yes too.
Yes. Let me get my
Did he call 2 of them and say, come over? They both coming over to the crib, right? Did he say, come on over?
Yeah, he was going to one of
Yeah,
them.
2 of them he told to come over. The 3rd one he said he going to her.
Well, and that's another thing. Okay, so all right, let me break down that.
Come on, Precious.
I'm ready.
And how what he did, right? All right, we're gonna plug in and break it down. Because I gotta talk to the ladies real quick, because y'all gotta stop.
This experience you had with your ex.
Nah, you know what I said? My ex loved me. She still love me to this day.
All right, we're gonna stop it right there. All right, we're gonna stop.
Love me.
My ex loved me.
To this day. Yeah, he's swinging the arms. He's swinging the arms, man. The arms are swinging.
1,000. Okay, his confidence is on 1,000 trillion. Okay, so that's the first thing that they love about him. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all know that right now, because as a woman, you want to know that your man is confident even when he's not confident. All right, you want to know that he should, if he feel like he can conquer the world, he going to let you know he can. All right, and you're not going to think no differently. So that was the first thing with him. So women, let's keep going.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So if you called, try to pull up, should answer?
right now.
Do it.
Right now. Okay, right now. He is super confident. Speed dial status.
Wait.
Yeah. Hello?
Hey,
What's up?
on P, what are you doing?
What is on P? I've been spending all day trying to figure what is on P? What is that? Anybody in chat know? That must be a generational slogan or something. I don't know. On P? I don't know.
Shit, I'm chilling. Hey, pull up on me right now.
Where?
I'm finna go to the house.
You want me to come over?
Yeah.
All right, she asked 2 questions, right? When? Oh, you want me to come over? That's 2 questions, right?
Why you look so excited?
3 questions. Why you look so excited? So she was on the fence, okay? There be some women that be on the fence.
Because I'm ready to see you.
And then he hooks them. And then he hooks her. Finish her. That was that one, right?
He was already hooked.
What?
She didn't even believe it. What?
You know how
I can take a quick shower real quick.
Oh,
And
man,
then
she's
she
going to
gets
get it clean and everything, man. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. She said, let me get my pH balance together. I'll be right over. Oh,
Hey, Precious,
You gotta
I'm gonna
grab
tell you
this
something. I'm gonna tell you something for real. Most dudes would have fumbled right when she said, "So you want me to come over?" They would have tried to start to play this
he
game
almost
with her.
did. He almost
Right.
did it. You heard it in his voice. Oh, I didn't even realize Sean dropped. So, okay, so that first girl, right? So she asked what 3, 4 questions, because a lot of times women want to gather their information. So it's you want me to come over? Why are you so excited? And blah blah. So I'm gonna just relate this back to Adam and Eve. I know y'all probably like Adam and Eve. How are we trying? But remember when the serpent was trying to give Eve the fruit, and she was like, "Yeah, but we're not supposed to eat from that tree." He was like, "Yeah, but God didn't say you would surely die. Like, he didn't say that you would really, be done with. He just, he just don't want you to know these things. Like, he just trying to keep something from you." She was like, and then eventually she gives in, right? And then gonna offer him something. So that was the first girl, right? She contemplated, and then he was able to hook her by saying, oh, well, I want to see you. You know how it is, right? And a lot of women, all three of these women, more so the first two than the last one, because she didn't really got to do nothing. He was going to come to her. But all three of these women have some type of emotional bond with this guy. So not only does he have confidence, right? Not only does he know for a fact he can get them to do what he wants, is because they're emotionally bonded to him. Now, it could be it could have started out as a sexual bond, but women can't separate sex and emotions. It's hard for women to separate sex and emotions. And so, I mean, it looked like it was about 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock. Who knows? So it's late. You know they're not going to do nothing but bone. The Netflix and chill type of hours, right? And so she is creating this emotional bond. And because he is calling her, he is making the first move. He is being the aggressor, right? She thinks that, oh, he wants me. He wants me. And he called 3 back to back to back to back. I mean, he threes after three. Like, we had a 3-point shooter on our couch. She never missed. It was like she never missed. And that was him, right? Never missing. And so if this woman continues to allow access, allow him to just pull up whenever he wants, she's going to create an emotional bond with him, because it's the drugs. She's doped up. You know, all of them drugs inside of them are now going to be exited outside of them once they done got together, they close, they touching, they talk. All it took was the smooth talk, right? So he told her, I want to see you. You know how he made it personal to her. He made her feel like, I want to see you. You're the one. Okay, we won't go on to the next girl.
What's up? Hello, let me see. I got called one of them. I know she ain't at work. Hello?
First of all, he know her schedule. Okay.
Yeah, Hunter.
He know when she free 99. All right. So that's another thing. He knows where she is at. These are his exes. He must talk to them on a regular.
High percentage shots, Precious. High percentage shots.
Yeah.
He knows where she is at. A good shooter is going to go to the place on the court where they know that they can make it.
Yep.
You're not going to shoot outside their range, because they know that they just might not make that shot. All right. So that was the first thing with the second girl. He knew exactly where she was at.
You at the game?
Yeah, it just started.
Pull up on me when you leave.
Where you at?
I'm gonna be at the house.
Okay.
It's a celebration.
I just like.
Okay. So again, he personalized it. Like, oh, I know where you at. You know where I'm about to be at. I'm about to be at the house. Pull up on me. Again,
yeah, but you got 2 women coming out there. Unless that's a different day, you got 2 women coming over there.
Well, look, it was a street experiment. Okay, he had to come.
So he don't plan on being there, because they'll show up. Yeah,
who knows? He probably made a whole second round of calls. Okay, after that, after this.
Don't take long, I guess, for him.
So the second one, he knew exactly where she was at. He knew that she was at the game. So again, made her feel special. Oh, he must be thinking about me. He know I'm at the game. He calls me. He making plans for me for after the game. He's making plans for me after the game. All I got to do is come through. Okay, so again, he's taking initiative with all of them because of this street experiment. But to these women, it's he likes me. He knows where I'm at, and he wants to see me after I'm done doing what I'm doing.
And he gave instruction too. You guys love instruction.
That part.
Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I always say, tell me what to do. All right.
Yeah. So, it wasn't no. I mean, if you want to, you know, nah, he didn't do none of that.
Exactly. Very straight to the point. These calls were about 2.2.
If it take longer than 2 minutes, you don't know what you're doing.
That part.
Oh, look at the Trey over here, man.
Hello.
Now this one sounded a little bit. Hey Trey, I'm gonna call Trey because that's what it sounded like she said. Hey Trey.
I was thinking about pulling up on you right now.
And he was a little apprehensive. Okay, he went in kind of so I was thinking about it because he already knows she thinking about it, but she a little apprehensive.
Where are you at right now?
Shit, I'm leaving Dallas, but shit, you know, I'm gonna come to you.
So he's leaving it open because he can hear in her voice that she's not 100% sold.
He knows, but he knows her. Yeah.
She's like the first girl asking questions, right? She's asking questions because she's like, well, where you at? Because you know, we don't like when you just pull up. Like, we need to know where you at. Where you at? Well, so look, I'm in Dallas. I mean, he leaving it open pretty much like I'm leaving here. I could go with you, you know.
That's okay.
I'm gonna pull up.
Fuck you mean? My boy went 3 for 3.
The craziest experience.
That's funny.
Michelle said she ended that relationship. That's the difference. Ooh. See, a woman can hear certain things in a woman's voice that men probably wouldn't be able to hear. That's a good pickup. She ended that relationship. That's the difference.
That ain't. Well, she ain't got no car. That's what that is.
So so I wanted to show this example because this is how women get emotionally reeled in, right? Guys think, look, I got 3 lined up for the night. I'm good. After these 3, I could go home. I could go somewhere else. I could go to a 4th, maybe a 5th. But women get reeled in this way. And this is how it starts. Because how old y'all think they are?
20s.
Yeah, 23, 24.
Yeah.
Right. So, you know, when you got a woman doing what you want for you in your 20s, as a young man, how do you even grow out of that? You're used to getting what you want. This is a young man who's going to be used to getting what he wants.
Where's the problem, Precious? I'm confused.
The problem is this realistic for someone it's realistic for someone who wants to live his life like this forever? Do you think it's realistic for a man to live his life like that forever?
It's possible for that small percentage of guys that got the sauce. It is possible for them. Like,
so 3 girls in one night. What's the probability of pregnancy?
Oh, definitely. He's gonna have kids. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we do that? Come on. You guys have had sex thousands of times. You do not have thousands or hundreds of babies. Come on.
And let's not take away the fact that it's a whole lot easier for a lady to leave house number A and walk over to house number B and get it in than a guy. Even in his 20s, it's still gonna take that refractory period before he's able to, you know, come back and go strong again.
Okay, so
I don't think guys like him who have sauce like that, I don't think they look to have this sort of lifestyle forever. I think at some point in time he'll grow out of it because it'll become boring. It'll become tiresome to him, and he will want just one woman. But that woman she's gonna have to be special. She's gonna have to be exceptional. But for now, he's in his 20s, and when guys in their 20s, good-looking guys who have confidence, who can talk, they're gonna enjoy their 20s. I don't blame them. I'm happy for the young fella. Like I you know, do you? I hope he's strapping it up and being safe. But do you? But I think at some point in time, probably in his 40s, things will start to slow down a little bit for him, and he'll be looking for one woman, and he will have gotten all that stuff out of his system.
My only pushback, Trey, is that I can kind of see what I think Precious was going to, in that it does F up the marketplace just a little bit, though, because you have a lot of those women that are looking at that 20% kind of guy, and they may want to actually have something more stable with that 20% guy. But that 20% guy who knows he's got the sauce, he's going to go, I have an abundance mindset. Why would I want to just stay in this lane when I can hop on any effing lane on this highway? And then it makes the marketplace that much more harder to navigate.
There's more women
You-
than men. So
you-
when
you know-
women get with these men, right, and they have been hurt per se, I always think that, or I always say that women, they need to do their work and they need to know men, study men, because if you don't, you'll be lost in the sauce, like those three girls lost in the D sauce. But when they get to a certain age, when they're ready to settle down, now one of those girls may be so emotionally bonded to that man that she may want to spend the rest of her life with him, but he's not looking at her like that.
No.
Mhm.
He's not looking at her like that. Maybe all three of them could feel that way about this man, but he's not looking at any of them like that.
No.
Right? So that messes them up for the next man that they go to. Again, they're young, but when they get to men who do want to settle down, they going to think about old Pimp C over here, that because 3 women to a man, one of them going to find out about the other one. Something's going to happen where they're just going to find out. And when women find out about other women, again, women are crazy, vindictive. They want to get their lick back.
And Trey,
You create women that produce that type of spirit.
Listen,
and
Precious.
Trey,
I
Trey.
once had an affair with 2 roommates. Okay, this is the cost of doing business. All right, and I got my car keyed for it for my troubles. Okay, it's the cost of doing business. I was sleeping with 2 people who lived together. What did I think was going to happen? He understands that there may be some
Well, you're not
casualties.
doing 10 years like Trey, whatchamacallit? Tory Lanez. You lucky you ain't doing 10 years.
I mean, I
Because he
wouldn't
was-
have shot her. There's no need for that. Kind of,
he was, listen,
I'm just saying.
it's still up
the
there.
point I'm trying to make
we
is
don't
that
know if he shot her or not. I'm just saying he had those 2
he's
chicks in
aware.
his car and he was fooling around with them both.
He's
Right?
aware. I'm sure he's aware that anything could happen. Anything could happen, and that
He can move on with his life. Men see. So you got your key card and you said that's the cost for my troubles and that's it. I got it fixed. I keep it moving. Women don't operate like that. When women get a flat tire emotionally, they're not just going to go change the tire and boom, they got a new tire again. They're going to be down and out for a little bit.
Yeah.
And some women never recover. Some women never recover.
That's why y'all be driving around with that donut on for 2 months.
So it's you look at that video and it's like, good, he's in his 20s, he should enjoy. And young guys are going to venture out. They're going to see what is for them, what is not for them. That's just a given. They're going to do that. But it comes a time where you're going to have this revolving door of women, but it produces hurt, vindictive women out here who are emotionally
Unstable.
scarred, and they don't know how to love a man. And so a man will get with her thinking, oh, she's sweet, she's this, she's that, and she crazy.
Precious, are you low key? Are you low key dick policing right now?
Hey, no. Listen, Precious is right. What Cam talked about earlier when he said the Pareto principle, it's the 80-20 rule. 80% of the consequences come from 20% of the causes. What some people are now extrapolating over onto the dating marketplaces is that you have these 20% of men that are acting like your Chads, Tyrones, whatever, like dudes that can go out there and they can pull a majority of the women. Yet those women, when they can't continue getting with that 20% of men and they go outside of that, they're still trying to get and look for what they're seeing in that top 20% of guy, and they're not seeing it out there, and that's what's jacking up the entire dating market.
So we should put on our cape and save them now.
No,
No, but
absolutely
it
not.
takes a lot of
Absolutely
it
not.
takes a lot of discipline when you have options. When you have options, it takes like y'all said, it's not. I said that every man has a D, and y'all was like, no, it ain't the same. It ain't the same. It ain't the same. When you got the sauce, it ain't the same. Okay, when
Jonathan
you got the
Owens.
sauce, everybody want the sauce.
Jonathan Owens didn't have to marry Simone Biles. He didn't have to. He joined on that app. There were tons of options and things that were out there. This is a guy that's in the top percentage of what he does in his sport. Handsome, pause, has his own income. He had options, and even by his own admission, if you watch the whole thing, he was kind of like, I was a little bit apprehensive because I could have still been in these streets. He didn't say it like that, but when you interpret it, that's how he said it. He had the discipline to calm his ass down.
Do you believe he didn't know Simone Biles when he heard the name?
Correct. I do believe. I do believe him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I look.
It's just like what Sam said in the chat. Those 80% are fighting the ghost of ninjas past. I follow that principle and I believe it. And the other dudes are paying for it.
Let's leave our capes in the closet. All right. These women want to be out here. They want to be out here getting with the 20%. That's on you, baby. But my man, I can see why these ladies want to go take showers and why they want to meet up with him. But he's got an abnormal amount of confidence. He knew what to do. He knew what to say. Because like I said, a lot of guys on that first call, a lot of guys would have folded on their. So you want to see me? They would have been out of the game right then and there. They would have tried to play this. They would have tried to play this sort of ping. They would have played this ping pong game back and forth with her. No, when she asked that question, you tell her straight up, I want to see you. Oh, you smiling a lot. I'm smiling because I'm excited to see you. He knew exactly what to say. So good on him. I think this is a master class for a lot of young guys to learn how to talk to women to get what you want. Because ultimately the goal was to get them to come through. My man went 3 for 3.
He's a great salesman.
Oh man.
He know how to sell. He knew how to sell. He sold himself perfectly.
Would y'all talking about the things that are messed up in relationship? Because the things that's messed up is that the men are full of it sometimes, and they call it game, and we praise it.
Stop.
And no, that's what it is, and we praise it. We're like, yo, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and to Precious' point, we messed the women's heads up, and vice versa. They start messing our heads up. But the point is, we sitting there cheerleading all of the games and the bullshit. And thinking like, oh yeah, we should do that, and wonder why it's so messed up out here.
The women are getting exactly what they want.
He's a single man.
Okay. I'm not disputing. I'm not disputing that. He could be honest and single. He could be like, yo, this is what I want. But instead, you basically.
What was the lie? What lie did he tell?
Well, I didn't say he said a lie. I said he could be honest.
He was being honest.
Okay. In those scenario, do you think he said, "Yo, I just called up so and so and so and so"? Did he say that?
So you want him to volunteer information? Come on.
I mean,
you want him to volunteer information.
The point that I'm making is that it's not about wanting him to or not. The bullshit that we're sitting here cheerleading is some bullshit that men do, and we need to stop the bullshit if we want something to be different. But we don't really want
what exactly do we want to be different?
We want good relationships. We want these women not to be toxic. I mean, again, he's single. I'm not disputing it, but let me just ask y'all this: do y'all feel good about lying?
Nobody lied.
No, I asked a question. I ain't saying this scenario. I said, do you feel good about lying? That's my question.
It depends on the lie.
Well, then that's where
it depends on the lie. Because if that lie leads me to ecstasy and satisfaction, it was a good lie.
Well, then that's where we differ, because that's the bullshit. You can get to ecstasy and satisfaction without lying. Okay, that's my opinion.
You know my issue is there are men out here who like to tell other men what to do. There's a lot of men out here that want to make up rules and say, you should do it this way. And you should do it that way. No, brother, I do it my way. And if you don't like the way that I do things, you don't have to follow what I do. You can go about these women. You can be honest. And you can say, hey, just to let you know, I just called up another girl about 5 seconds ago. She also said it was cool for me to come through too. Yeah. Just wanted to let you know. I'm not doing that silly shit. I'm not doing that.
Well, to be honest with you, it's not about me asking you to do what I do or giving rules. It's just stop being bullshit. Stop being full of shit. That's what I challenge men to do. Stop being full of shit. And you can be full of shit.
What's the full of shit?
Lying is full of shit.
He didn't lie.
Once again, I didn't. Wait. First off, we're not talking about him. We're now speaking about. I said, do you condone lying? You said it depends on what depends on the ads. And I said, okay, that's where we differ. I said that's where we differ. I said that's the bullshit I'm talking about. If you lying to get ass, you're full of shit.
So let me get this right. You have a problem that another man is telling another woman a lie. I want to make sure I understand that right. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with the women that you're going after. But you have an issue with the fact that I would tell a woman a lie that has nothing to do with you.
No, I have an issue with people who lying, period. Because we keep talking about we want some good relationships and stop lying, period.
All right.
Be straightforward.
Let's frame this a bit different. And I hate to use the celebrity example, but this is one that everybody will know. All right. Leonardo DiCaprio is known for recycling once you hit 25. Hey, when you hit that age limit, you out. I'm bringing in the next fresh, piece of thing out there. These women that know him know that, yet they still accept that offer, Sean. So he's not out here lying or being somebody that he's not. Yet when those women exit that relationship with him, they likely go and find something in somebody else. And what they're looking for in that somebody else isn't going to be what they got from Leo.
King, you're absolutely right. I'm not. Wait, what I'm saying is that you're absolutely right. He didn't lie. He said what it was, and he got. And I condone that, and I cheerlead that. You can get what you want without lying. That's the point that I make to men. You could get what you want without lying. And the point is, why do you take the easy route? Oh, I gotta lie to get some. Why? You could get your ass without lying.
I hear you, but in the scenario in the video, the guy didn't lie. He just said what you doing. And
how does another man lying to a woman affect your life?
Because when that woman go over to Sean, they're gonna be mad at Trey.
then Sean should get some better game.
That's the whole thing. I don't play games. The whole thing is I don't play games. That's different. You're right. I don't play games. You're right. I'm not saying that those who play games can't do what they want. I'm just saying stop playing games. I don't like games. I don't play the games.
Who cares what you like?
Okay,
beautiful. I don't understand guys like you. You guys care so much about what other men do with their dick and with their wallet. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. I don't care what you do, Sean. If you lie to the girl and you tell her that you can bring her the stars and the moon, that's between you, her, the stars and the moon. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
You're right from that standpoint. And I'm not disputing what you're saying. I'm not saying be me. I'm saying I don't respect the way you are. Period. You ain't got to. It's not like I don't like you or nothing. You just don't respect the lies. Period. Do you? Absolutely do you. But if you start talking about, oh, I want a good woman and it's bad out there, you're the reason why.
Oh yeah.
Grace brought up that I'm kind of curious about. She said, if there's a man that mess with Trey's sister, daughter, or mom, then Trey might have something to say.
No, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't. Again, I don't understand why people do this. My answer is never going to change just because you put my family in it. If my mother is dumb enough to fall for these dumbass games, she's getting everything that's coming to her. If she didn't learn, my mother is 60-some-odd years old. She got almost 4 to 5 decades in this game. If she can't peep a dude run a game on her, that's her problem. And if she didn't teach my sister, she wasn't smart enough to teach my sister how to recognize game, that's their problem. I have taught my sister everything I know about men and what men will say to you. And if you still fall for the bullshit, that's your problem. I have a daughter, and it's my job to teach my daughter everything that men will say to her to get in between her legs. If you fall for it, that's your problem. It is my responsibility to teach you the game. It is not my responsibility to put my cape on and go flying out in the middle of the night to try to save you from all the bad guys.
Arpain, please expound on this. Yes, because you are a father of daughters as well. I am as well. So please, Arpain, I would love to hear what you have to say.
Well, listen, I really don't want to get in the middle of this argument. First of all, I don't feel sorry for the chicks whatsoever. Right? These women have complete agency on what they do. Right? Period. And that's it. Straight back. If this guy can get over on them, that's on them. The problem with the women these days, when they get trauma after a relationship, that's all their fault. You know why? Because they have too many men. They don't have no virtue left. And so they'll go from one guy, bring that trauma with them. Part of it, I always say, is the energy transfers with them. Men transfer energy, and the women have no way of dissipating it. So they take that energy with them, go to another guy, or whatever, and it manifests itself in distrust, trauma, drugs, and more transactional sex. And it just happens. That's why we tell women, it's my job as a man to earn my keep. It's your job to protect your virtue. Because that's your womb. I didn't say be a virgin. I said protect your virtue and have some left for the man you want. And a lot of women don't have none left. You know what's the saddest thing? When a woman could pull up her pants after sex and leave just like she's a man. That's hard. And more women can do that these days. Before they had to have, now they can bust down. And then you see all these porn stars, after they had 1,000 men, now they're on the internet crying, I kind of regret what I did, but they're just ruined. All that energy is in there, man. And it don't go nowhere. They can't dissipate it. Ain't no man.
Ken, you ever see? I watched Boomerang yesterday.
Oh,
remember the scene in there where Robin Givens leave the money on the nightstand?
Mm-hmm.
She leave the $200 because she missed the show. She missed the show. She left the $200 on the nightstand. And Eddie pulled the sheets up. He felt dirty. There's a lot of dudes out here right now. They Eddie Murphy in right now. They like these women. Listen, we have got to get past this sugar and spice and everything nice with these women out here. They are not blind. They are not not knowing what they're doing. I guarantee you, all three of those women that picked up the phone knew what time it was the moment they saw his name on that screen. They knew what time it was, and I can prove it. If you go back, the first thing she says, "Hey." Yeah, and we all know as men that hey
she just left the big head off. Hey, big head.
Arpain, that hey means what's good.
You're right.
You know what? I was just thinking about you.
Exactly.
What's good? You coming through? But she had to be a woman. See, you can't just toss it out there like that. She had to put him through the. She had to put him through the paces
the biggest key, Trey?
You want to see?
This is the biggest key. When she said, "Let me go take a shower," because it's on. Let me go. Don't worry about coming over. It's gonna be nice and fresh just for you, goddammit.
Look, I agree with Arpain. I agree with Arpain. Women, you allow access. We allow access. Point blank, period. If all three of them would have told him no, it would have been a whole different story.
That's right.
We would have been like, he whack. He can't pull nobody. Ain't nobody answer the phone for him, right? But he was only allowed to look like that because they allowed him to. And that's why I say women need to study men. See, I have a brother raised with my dad. I played basketball, so I was always around. The girls team was with the boys team. We had the baseball team that always had games too, around the same time that we had games. So, and then I worked in a restaurant. So I'm able to people watch on a whole different level. It also could come from my background too of being adopted and being in foster care. Because when you're in foster care, you're going from house to house and you like, okay, does anybody care about me or am I just here because, you know, and then being adopted, you feeling a need while you don't have a need filled yourself. So that's probably why I'm always on the swivel, you know, and can tell certain things. But most girls who are young girls who turn into young women, like Arpain said, you've had so many men that now you don't have a virtue for a man. And like I was talking about in another video, you don't even know how to love a man. You don't even have it in you to love another man or to love a man.
I
Because
agree.
you ran through, because you giving your emotions to a man who didn't deserve it and you thought he did because of the D. A lot of women are digmatized. A lot of women are digmatized. And they do not know how to pull themselves away from a man when all you got to do is say no. Okay? All you got to do is say no.
Easier said
And
than
you
done.
gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
You got to tell him no.
Oh man.
That's
Like,
it. That's all.
Easy, precious, easier said than done, because guess what? When we said it was the D, it turned into the source, because before y'all digmatized, y'all hypnotized. We sit there and tell you what you want to hear, give you all the sweet nothings, and your low self-esteem we tap into. Your everything that you think you got on point, we go ahead and conquer, and we go ahead and get you where we want to get you. That's source, and then when we get you in the bed, if we know how to throw it down, now we got the D. So that's why I changed my answer to D source. You absolutely right. He had D source. And y'all fall for it all the time. So I'm not mad at, like Payne said, I don't feel sorry for it, because y'all continuously make bad choices in reference to getting digmatized and
Dang.
You know, this is so funny though. Even in my day, right, there was always women who were loose, but everybody knew them. But there was also women, no matter what you did or what you say, you ain't getting past first base. There was a lot of them back then. You know, there was just a lot of them. You got lucky if you were able to grope on the breasts and stuff, you know, no tuck it. But man, your hand go to the pen. It was no, you couldn't touch it. And there was a lot of women back then. Well, enough, right? And so now the odds have swung, where if you can find a woman that's like that, you know, you're lucky. I'd say hang on to her. Well, present company, except you know, whatever. But I'm just saying, a lot of women are so loose, and guys take advantage of it because we do what we do. Men's nature is to procreate. Our sexual, we always have a constant demand. If you're a healthy man, heterosexual, I'm not talking about the other guys. If you're a healthy man, sex is what you want all the time, and you don't act on it all the time. But if it's there, and a woman offers it to you, unless you're at the age of discernment, you're going to take it. Anyway, she gives it.
Hey, Precious, you hooped, right?
Mm-hmm.
I hooped too. If the refs was letting us play a little bit more physical, you could get away with a little bit more. Did you say, nah, ref, we can't play that way? That's not how we play the game. Or did you go as far as the refs would allow you to play and stay within the parameters? Which one?
She's trying to figure out.
Honestly, it wasn't even about the refs. It was about my coach.
Okay, if your coach said play more physical because the refs are letting y'all play physical, and he wants y'all to get tougher, he wants y'all to be more physical, you would play more physical, right?
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. In football, if I realized that the refs was allowing a little hand fighting between me and the DB, and they was letting it go, I was Mike Irvin out that moment. All right, fine, I'm gonna push off. I'm gonna do everything because they ain't calling it. Ain't no refs calling no flags. Ain't no refs calling no flags in this romantic game. These women don't have no rules out here, Precious. Ain't no rules.
But that's what I was saying. It's until they call it. See, you have a lot of men that have women that these women allow them to do whatever they want, and then they come across a woman that's like, nah, that's not. We're just not doing that. Like,
so you got to adjust.
And so and some men don't know how to respond to a no. some men don't know how to respond to. Why is she telling me no? Like I'm always.
Well,
able
as
to
long as he doesn't do anything illegal, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Let me tell you, you're precious. You know this. If women wanted more from men before they gave up the sex, after a while, men will come correct.
The
They would
market would
just come
change.
correct. They would come more correct. To
The whole market would change.
Or we would just get more clever.
No.
No.
I mean, you can be as
The
clever
market
as you
would
want.
change.
If women in general wanted more from you, because they used to be like that.
If they raise their
What
standard,
more could they
market
want?
would change.
Look,
They've
they
made
tell
it
you
easy.
no. They
Trey,
just say
I
no.
say this all the time.
I'm asking our pain. What more could a woman want?
Marriage, relationship, marriage.
Come on, right?
No,
See,
I mean, you talking about now. I'm talking about. There was, Trey, you might not remember. You don't remember this. There was a time women demanded marriage.
This is what I mean, our pain, when I say these things. This is what I mean when I say you guys are out of touch.
I'm not talking about now, Trey. You asked me a question.
But the problem is you guys have to understand something. They don't want marriage.
I'm not talking about now. You asked me a question that had nothing to do with the time. You didn't say today. If you would have said today, I would have just let you answer.
Talking about?
You said what do they want? What? That's not the 20s. I was talking about the time when women knew how to say no. You brought it up. I didn't ask you to bring it up to now.
No, you guys are saying that if women required more. I asked, what is the more? You said marriage.
Right. They required more.
Okay, I'm telling you, in 2024, the large majority of women.
I'm talking about. You asked me what women want, man, Trey. If you're trying to say that there's no women who want marriage, I know all of them don't want to just be hoes.
I'm not talking about the minority. You're talking about the minority. I'm talking about the majority.
Okay, so that's what we have.
They don't want it. They don't want it. When I first met my ex, we were sitting at a dinner. Do you want to get married? No. Okay, moving on. Moving on. Women, I just
went over 2 weeks ago. Right?
Hang on.
It's a percentage of women.
Because here's the thing. This is the experience you don't have. So just listen for a second. I went out with a woman 2 weeks ago. Do you want to go? Do you want to be married? No, I don't understand why we should get married. I mean, we could do everything but get married. We don't need to go down to the park. This is out of her mouth, not mine. I'm not saying that. She's saying it.
Well, that's sad because I think that women are saying that because men aren't moving as though they want to be married anymore. So women are going to be following suit in that, saying, well, look, men aren't working towards marriage anymore. So let me just get on his schedule and not be married, because if he's just going to do a fly by night type of thing, and if I want to rock with him, then that's just what I'm going to have to do.
Okay, Precious.
Precious, let me ask her a question.
Let me
just ask a question for a second. I'll shut up and you can say all you want.
Yeah, promise not to argue in 2024.
Right.
No women want to get married.
Because the issue is the issue is that our pain won't listen. He wants to talk, but he's not in this game. You're not in this game. So instead of you taking a second and listening. Instead of you taking a second and listening, you want to talk about what you don't know. You don't know.
I know more about women than you.
Okay, all right. Tell me about a 28-year-old
all you want to do is stick your thing in there, man. I'm asking you. You're telling me no women want to get married? None, not one.
You're again none? because you want to talk. You're not.
I'm just saying. You keep saying nobody wants to get married. It's not true. It's just not true. It's a lie.
I didn't say that.
When you telling me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You don't. You don't know what you're talking about. No, you
I'm talking about the women who want to get married.
Okay.
You're talking about the ones who don't.
Let me ask you a question. Have you been out on a date with a woman in 2010?
Yeah.
No. Outside of your wife.
It has nothing to do with it.
How about 2000?
It has nothing to do with it.
How about 1990?
Absolutely nothing to do with it.
How about you?
Your question is not your straw man question. Has nothing to do with it,
years,
man.
Bruh.
It has nothing to do with it. You know what? We can't vote for president because we never been a president. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're saying. This is the problem. Let me address your point, objectivity.
Let me address your point, Precious, because you make a good point. The women are acquiescing to the men, right? They're changing their mentality because they think that's what the men want to hear. which goes to my point that they don't want anything. They don't know what they want, so they're just following behind the men. So if that is true, based on what you're saying, Precious, that the men don't want to be married and the women are now saying they don't want to be married, then how can they expect more? They don't even know what they want.
Well, part of the point that I was making earlier lends to what you just said, and that's why I said it's our responsibility, because we keep playing the games. We keep on creating these scenarios and then act like we don't. We cheerlead this mentality and then act like we don't. And so we run into these traumatized women, and who traumatized them? We did, with our bullshit lying, with our bullshit approaches.
I'm not disagreeing.
These women were traumatized in high school when they gave up their virginity, sir. It got nothing to do when I met her.
And they gave it up to, and they gave it up to some, and they gave it, and they gave it up to some, and they gave it up to this, and they gave it up to the same D-saucy person we were just talking about in high school.
You want to fix these problems? Fix the parents. Fix the parents who's raising these kids.
Trey, great point.
They're the ones that got the issues.
I can't dispute that.
Not teaching their daughters to keep their legs closed. The parents
I can't dispute that. I can't
but
dispute that.
You want to blame the men and say, "Oh, well, he."
But the parents. Wait. No, wait. So wait. So was the man. So if we're gonna blame the parents did the same to the man. He made the man think exactly what you were saying and cheerlead the bullshit that you were saying earlier. So let's not miss that. Let's not miss that. Let's not miss that. Let's not miss that.
You must have
in high school.
It must be freshly minted. It must be brand new. You must have got it for Christmas.
In high school,
you cannot save them. You can't
once again, I'm not. First off, I'm not disputing that. You're right. It's a deeper issue. It's because what I'm sharing is that we keep on leaning towards, oh, it's women. I'm like, yo, men are just as screwed up, and that's what I'm pointing out. We sit there and we cheerlead bullshit. And then when it's convenient, we're like, oh, we went
men, and it's weird. It's very weird.
I like fairness, and if we're gonna sit there,
there is no such thing as fairness.
That's the problem. That's why we have a button of the heads, because you don't like fairness. You don't believe it exists.
No, it doesn't exist, sir. It's not a real thing.
Okay, I disagree with that.
Liberal feminist nonsense. There is no such thing.
I don't care what it sounds like. That
there is no such thing as fair. Right now, you are being underpaid. Right now, you're being underpaid. At your job, right now, is that fair? Right now, you are paying more taxes than you should. Is that fair? Right now, there's somebody who has a stock tip that you don't have and that is making millions of dollars, aka Nancy Pelosi. Is that fair? Stop talking to me about fair.
Are you going to let me answer the question?
Candace Owens said, and I'm going to stop with this. The world is tough. Get a helmet. That's it. It ain't talking about some fairness. What are we talking about?
Are you done? Are you done?
No, he's not.
I don't know.
Done,
is it fair? Is it fair for me to be done?
I'm being fair and letting you finish. Go ahead.
You're not being fair because you don't control anything, sir.
Okay. Yes. I have one question. I don't control you.
I have one question, Sean.
I get it. Yes, sir.
Hey, Trey, before you say, I don't know, are you saying that no women want to get married? None?
Again, for the 14th time. For the 14th time, I said the majority of women. The majority of women.
I'm talking about the majority of goddamn women. I'm asking,
you want me to answer the question or not?
Want to get married? Yes or no?
Do you want me to answer your question or not?
You're not answering the question.
Go ahead, I can't answer if you keep interrupting me. The majority of women do not want to get married. In 2024.
I'm asking, do any women want to get married?
One more time?
That's what I'm asking you. Do any women want to get married? Any?
Yes, the minority of women want to get married.
No, okay, what percentage is the minority? 1, 2,
I don't
10%?
know. I haven't taken a poll, but I will tell you this: if majority of women wanted to get married, their behavior would reflect those of women who wanted to be married. Their behavior does not reflect women who want to be wives. Their behavior reflects women who want to be independent, single, and on their own. That's what their behavior reflects.
And they're all on the internet crying that they can't find a guy to marry. So all I'm just
stop
trying
saying
to say
they want
is
to get married
that
if
if
they're
it's
not
more than
behaving like they want to
10%,
get
then
married.
it's statistically significant. If it's more than 10%, then it's statistically significant. That's like a what? 1 million women or some shit like that. I mean, come on. You know, so there's not a lot of marriageable women. I'll give you that. But to always talk about all of them just want to just fly their lives away and just be fodder for everybody's Johnson, it's just not true. It's not. You know, I mean, that's all I'm saying. You know, so I mean, I hear what you're saying, but we just can't be talking in absolutes all the time. That's all I'm saying.
Who's talking in absolutes?
You.
No,
You just kicked my ass because I said a few women want to get married. You said I'm a jackass. I'm 65 years old. I don't know what I have because I haven't had a date in 20 years.
I never once said all the women. Never once said all the women. Never once.
Okay. The position that I'm speaking from, the position that I was speaking from is that last week, for example, Trey, or last month, you said that you wanted a relationship. All I'm saying is that the likelihood of having a relationship that you describe you wanted is not likely with the mentality that you approaching it with.
Okay, I'm gonna say this as calmly as I possibly can. Who in the fuck do you think you are? You don't get to tell me anything.
Sean Bolden. No, that's who I am.
A nobody. You don't get to tell me shit about my fucking life at all. You don't get to tell me how my life works. This is the problem with you men. You men think that you get to dictate the lives of somebody else. You don't get to tell me shit. If I want to go out and I want to sleep with 15 women and then have a relationship with another woman, that's exactly what I can do. And if it works for me, it works. And if it doesn't work, whose problem is that? There's only one man's problem. Mine. You guys cannot dictate the lives of other men. It's weird. It is weird. Oh, you're never going to find. Says who? Who came up with these rules? Where do y'all come up with this stuff? Is there a book? Can I buy it on Amazon? Can I read it? That has all these dating rules, all these rules that say, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that because if you don't do this, then this won't work.
But I never said you can't do anything. I never said you. As a matter of fact, I extend and you do whatever you want. I just simply said.
Great. Then don't ever tell me what I can't find again.
Why can't I? I just told you.
Because
and I'm going to repeat it. And I'm going to repeat it. How do you know what I'm qualified? How do you know what I'm qualified to do? Because you don't want to receive it don't mean that I ain't qualified.
You're not
because
qualified.
You don't want to listen to it don't mean I ain't qualified.
It's bullshit.
Because you want to believe it's bullshit don't mean I ain't qualified.
You're not qualified to speak on my life.
Once again, because you don't want it, don't mean I'm not qualified.
You're not qualified.
I'm not. Am I disputing that? But once again, because you are telling me,
you're a weirdo, bro. You're a weirdo.
Okay,
you want to tell
because you're calling me a weirdo. So because you're calling me a weirdo does not quantify that it's true, Trey.
Okay,
because your opinion of me is one way.
I can't quantify that you're a weirdo, and you can't qualify. You can't be qualified to tell me what's going to happen in
once
my life.
Again, I never said that I'm qualified.
He said not likely.
Right. I didn't say that. I never said you
who?
Wasn't.
What? Where did you come up with that?
I came up with by observing what you're speaking
and
how it.
You've never even seen me have an interaction with a woman in real life.
What
are you talking about?
What if you listen? I said it very clearly. I said observing what you're speaking.
Can you name?
I said observing what you're speaking.
Just give me one. Give me the name of one of my exes.
Trey,
just
you're going off. You're going off on your tangent.
Just give me the name of one of my exes.
You're going off on your tangent.
Just give me the name of one of my exes.
Trey, listen.
You can't because you're not
Trey.
You can't tell me anything about my life, sir.
Because we're not
okay. Okay, but Trey, what I'm saying is that I've never said.
No, you're not saying anything. Just be quiet.
Okay, here you go. No, Trey, I'm telling you, Trey, why can you only talk and nobody can talk to you?
Because you're talking bullshit.
Okay, and so are you. But I'm allowing you to talk the bullshit.
You're wasting.
You're talking bullshit. No,
okay, get your bullshit out.
Okay, thank you. Let me finish with my bullshit. My bullshit is I never said that. I said I'm observing what you said. You said I want a relationship, and you described it. And then you said, let's play games. And I said, the likelihood of you getting a relationship that you described while you're playing games is not that likely. What's so hard to understand about that?
All right, he got his bullshit out. Can we move on?
Okay, cool.
All right. So, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. That's. All right. Excuse me. We're going to move on to the next video. We have a couple in therapy, and the man is trying to get his point across. His wife is not hearing him. So we're going to put this on the stage here and go over this.
Do I not understand you?
Ooh. Quick observations. A, look how far they are apart from each other. B, look how she's sitting up and he's slouched in the couch. C, look how I don't think at any point did he say anything and look towards the lady that he's sitting on the same couch with, yet see how she, from time to time looked over towards him. She runs that relationship. That's a guy who isn't used to being heard, which is exactly what he said. So he's like, I don't even know, like he can't even find himself to look over there because he feel like this B ain't gonna hear me anyway. That relationship is doomed, and they shouldn't even really be in therapy together because it's donezo.
Yeah, I would need more information. I mean, that's a small little clip of what's going on there. She clearly, just based on that interaction, that back and forth, she clearly just literally. I think the therapist noticed that, and that's why she interjected. But I'll say this: I feel personally, this is just what I think here, that going to therapy as a couple is like when professional teams have team meetings. Once you start to have a team meeting, your season is pretty much over. It's done. It's a wrap. The season's over. Once you start having a team meeting. Once you have to start going to therapy, that means that you guys are no longer able to communicate within the confines of your own home. So that means you got to bring somebody else in, a third party, to help y'all communicate. That shit's a done. It's a wrap. That's just how I see it.
I stand on that as a card carrier member who went through marriage counseling and came out of it. And once you get to that point, I think it's done.
I don't see how you could pick. I don't see how you could choose a therapist, because to could be, completely objective to where one person doesn't think you're taking one side over the other. I think that comes out of some of these sessions. I don't know if you saw that, King. When you was in therapy, there was your therapist was objective enough that you felt comfortable that he or she wasn't choosing sides.
In my opinion, I felt as though the therapist was fair to both parties.
Okay.
I didn't have any
objections.
objections.
A man or a woman?
It was a man. My ex-wife didn't give any objections during the counseling sessions that we went through either. So, but I can't speak for her.
Okay. Yeah, so there's an observation. I mean, if you didn't feel that way, then maybe it's possible. Because, well, it's obviously it's possible since you didn't feel that way. It just seems like, I agree though. Well, once you get to that point, and the way she was acting, the way they were acting together, it looks like it's over. I can't imagine what their conversations are like when they're home.
I mean, if we're going to go on the absolute, what Trey said, I agree with, because it's like what he said last week as well. When it comes, if you calling the cops, it's pretty much a done deal. And so I do think that sometimes you can have somebody help you communicate, but in the way that the communication that King pointed out, body language that was going on, and not the nonverbal communication, really led to the position of where I can agree with what he's saying. They were a done deal.
Hey, King, let me ask you a question. Did your counseling or therapy, did it feel like you were trying to figure out who was wrong? Like, were you both trying to just figure out, like the therapist would tell us, all right, who's wrong in this situation? Or was it really about trying to find a resolution?
It was about trying to find a resolution. And that's what I needed to hear in that first intake. Otherwise, I felt like it was just going to be a waste of time. Luckily, I didn't have to pay for it, being that I was prior service. The what is it called? The Airmen and Family Readiness Center
Yeah,
at A Fort.
yeah.
So, but that's what the counselor's stated thing was. So I felt comfortable going through the sessions because I'm like, all right, hopefully we can get some type of resolution out of this. Because me and my ex, we would go round and round about something, and I'm saying you're not hearing me. She's saying well, you're not hearing me, and in the end, we never came to a resolution. We kept the same cycle of just not hearing each other.
So the same cycle of not hearing each other. And in the video, it looked like she wanted him to emotionally submit to her first, but he's like, you don't even recognize me in the house. You don't recognize me. She says she's like a robot, which means nothing she does is natural. Everything she does is on a time schedule. She's feeding the kids, probably taking care of, dinner or whatever, like a robot, not interacting with him like a human. And he is catching the effects of that. I wanted to go back into the video really quick. Let me see something.
Okay, good.
Says, how do I not understand you?
So she asked the question, how do I not understand you? And when you ask someone a question, then it is your duty to actively listen to what you have asked them to see if they're going to answer your question. And so
Precious, I'm sorry. This has to be said here. She asked him that question and she turned to him. And in his response, I don't think I saw him turn towards her or even look at her.
No, he doesn't like her.
That would be the nonverbals. Go ahead.
And that's a huge problem. When I went through the marriage counselor made it a point. It was this thing, it was kind of like a talisman, right? Whenever somebody's speaking and this person's holding this thing, whatever the object is, that person is the only one to talk. And you turn and you look at the other person. You state to them very specifically. And when you're done, you set it down. The other person picks it up. When they're talking, there is no but if you hear them say anything. They're the only one that quote unquote has the floor, so to speak. But he also made say, look at each other as you're talking to the other person. He didn't do that. That shit's done.
I also want to point something out. The verbiage she used. When someone says, how do I not? In their mind, they already think that they're doing it. So they're asking you to prove that they're not doing what they think they're already doing. So by her saying, how do I not do this? Now he's got to say, okay, I got to give you an example. I got to lay this all out for you because you don't think that you're doing what I'm saying that you're not doing.
I agree with that.
Her verbiage was very interesting there.
It was interesting what he said too, because she asked the question, right?
You're so
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. You feel that
Says, how do I not understand you?
How do I not understand you, right? And so understanding is such a huge, you can't even encapsulate that understanding. Understanding can be so broad. But he says, you think that I need affection when I just want to be seen, right? That's what he said.
Play it? I was going to say.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop it right there because, I mean, hell, how you give somebody affection if you don't see them? However, I do know what he's saying. So she wants to give affection and he's saying you don't see me, which means that he's not talking about her seeing him with her physical eyes. There's something about him or something going on with him that she is actually not seeing as his wife. When you're husband and wife, there are things I'm sure that you can see that no man can see in your wife. There's no other person that can see certain things in your wife like you can, and vice versa. She can see things in you that no other woman will be able to pick up. So
okay. Yeah.
So
no, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's something that, because some things could be hidden in plain sight. A lot of times when she talk about being a robot, you know what I mean? Some things could be hidden in plain sight. but there is something that she's not seeing, me being a visionary for her husband, because it's not fit. She obviously can see, she's not blind. So there's something that she's not exploring within him to make him feel seen. Go ahead, RP.
Look, it seems to me, because after that he talked about it's the boys. To me, and I could be getting this wrong, he's just not satisfied with the attention that she's giving him, the attention she wants to give him, and not the attention that he wants. That's what I get out of it.
You think that I need affection? I mean,
what I'm saying is she's giving him the attention she wants to give him, and not what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He wants something from her that she's not giving, no matter whether she thinks she's doing it right. He wants, because after that he talks about the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right after that, you're not giving me what I want, and blah blah blah. It's the kids. It's always the kids. Blah blah blah. And then she says, "Well, I feel like a robot," because he's not. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm sure. When was the last time he told her, "Listen, honey, listen, I'll cook the dinner tonight, and I'll take the kids. Go chill out." It seems to me that they're not giving each other what they want, and they're not talking it out. So his conversation, I'm gonna end it here. So all the shit that he's saying and all the stuff that she's saying, I don't think they ever had a conversation. Listen, it's about us two. Let's get that together, and the kids will get taken care of. I need this from you, and you need that from me, and I'll give it to you, and let's kind of work on that. And I think that's where the fact that he didn't look at it was very, very damaging.
Mm-hmm.
He's mad. I mean, I think he's like mentally done.
Mm.
I mean, he didn't even look at her
at all.
Because I think if he looked at her, his true feelings, especially when they made eye contact, I think she would have saw something in his eyes that he didn't want to show her to see. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm curious why she's there, not necessarily him. I think in that scenario, in just that short clip, he does want to be seen and or heard from her. I'm curious what her motivation is for showing up and going through it, because I don't understand it.
It's the kids. He said it. It's the kids.
Y'all ever seen a man checked out?
Yeah, that dude is checked.
He's checked out, bro.
He's checked out. He is checked out.
And so good evening, Kenneth. Thank you so much for being here. Within
good evening, everybody.
That
good evening.
Does a guy ever check back in, or when he's checked out, he's checked out?
No, he can check back in, but I mean, we need so much more information than that. I don't even know if they're going to get it through therapy, but yeah, he could check back in, but I don't see where they're going to come to that kind of revelation for him to do that. It doesn't look like they're getting there.
My uncle once told me, never give a woman a second chance to finish a job, so don't check back in.
That's kind of cold-blooded.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that unless only way I would if somebody else is clapping the cheeks, then never. But that kind of argument I think is still possible. But he's checked out.
Well, what kind of message do you send a woman if you let her to check? Come, she's back and forth.
You don't give 100 unlimited chances. I mean, you obviously checking back in means you'll work something out. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
but it didn't. But it didn't work.
That's the vows, though, man. That's the vows.
It didn't work the first time.
You can't just leave because y'all have a misunderstanding. You're looking sideways at each other. The vows.
Do second marriages have a higher divorce rate than first marriages?
I haven't really paid those statistics. I heard they do.
Yes, they do. Second marriages have a higher divorce rate than first marriages. If it didn't work, it didn't work. Why are we going back?
But they didn't say they was getting a divorce. I'm just saying.
Look at that man's body language. Okay, look at that man.
Huh?
There were two key points that was obvious that you may have missed. If he was checked out, he wouldn't be in therapy. That means he's inviting a chance of fixing whatever their union is. but there was something very important that she did that showed that there was a break in the communication, which could give you the story of why he's fed up. When a man is open enough to tell you what bothers him, like he did, she tried to trump it. Well, my concerns are greater than yours, rather than hearing what my husband is saying as for why we have to divide. It wasn't just a second more, and she was like, well, I feel like a robot. Like her trump card, like he threw little Joker and she threw big Joker, rather than hearing why her husband is at this point. When you have a separation of communication, that's on two parts. No one is innocent within that given situation. I say he ain't checked out, because if I'm checked out, I'm not doing nothing with you. I'm not doing no meetings. I'm not doing anything that interacts with you and I. I'm working on my exit strategy.
If the judge made it mandatory for you to go to couples counseling to get your divorce, would you go?
Okay, that's another caveat. That's if that's what it is, you're gonna be there. But is that the situation within the given video?
I don't know. I was getting ready to ask. Do we know what state they're in by any chance?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
So let me ask you,
because they are
that's a
certain
movie.
states.
I think that's like a show. I don't.
Kenneth, let me ask you a question. Why do you think he's not looking at?
That's also part of what I said. She could care less, because if you cared about your husband's feelings within that, and I'm not trying to give her all the blame, why did you try to trump his concerns? He opened up. Men are not readily vulnerable like that. A man is grown up to be hard, not cry, not tell people our business, stuff supposed to be in-house.
Yeah, but you're not kind of answering my when he said that to her. How come he didn't look at her to say that?
Okay, I did answer your question, and I'm gonna go over it again, because she was so ingrained on making her point.
Yeah,
I don't see how that has.
She was trying. She was looking at that. Okay, she was
But that's all
looking at
right,
the.
man. I hear you. I hear you.
She was looking at the therapist. Like, forget him. That's another sign that you won't even look over to him, even though he may not be looking at you, to show him that you care. You just trying to trump his point to make yourself or your argument look better to the therapist to gain favor in the given conversation.
I didn't say that.
What I heard,
I saw her looking at him. I didn't see him looking at her.
what I heard and observed is that he didn't feel respected, and he wanted to be respected, and she didn't display it. Didn't seem like she was interested in it, to the point that the gentleman Kenneth was just speaking to. She didn't look like she was in this place or space to respect what it was that he was saying and or feeling. And that's why they probably are in counseling, because she displayed what he was saying was the issue. He didn't say it in those words, and maybe that's why the communication, why they need a therapist, because he didn't know the right words to say. But in reading his body language and listening to what he was saying, I can't be seen. I will come to a conclusion that he doesn't feel respected.
I'm in agreement.
Yes, in therapy you do learn you don't one up one another, and that's exactly what she did. Even when the therapist said, well, he's saying something there, she's like, what, that I'm a ghost? So she even reiterated it when the therapist pointed it out. He said he sees that and he acknowledges that 100%.
You know what my issue with therapy sometimes become is because the therapist they can't speak what they're actually seeing. They can't place a judgment. And sometimes some things just need a judgment. Sometimes some things just need to be said. And unfortunately, a therapist is trained. They cannot do that. They cannot take a side. They can only give suggestions, give different types of remedies to what they might see as an issue, point out some of the issues that they have learned to point out, but they can't take a side. And in my opinion, just in seeing, she clearly is an issue. and she is not taking any accountability for it. But the
None.
therapist can't say that,
That's
and he's
that's
tired
crazy.
of saying it. He's tried to say it every time he say it. She's a victim. Oh no, yeah, I'm the victim. Oh, well, me. But the point is, you ain't listening. You're very disrespectful, very dismissive. You're not really paying attention to what it is that he's trying to convey. He's taking and acknowledging what you're doing, and you're just not reciprocating. And the therapist can't say that. And that's why therapy to me sometimes fails.
You
I have
know, watching it back, this dude kind of soft, man. I'm sorry. Watching it again, like I'm not completely sure what is it that he's looking for here. He said that he needs affection. He's not getting affection. Is he talking about like he's not having sex, or is she don't want to hug him? Like, what are we talking about when we talk about
No,
affection? What are we
it seems like she's giving him affection, but that's not what he wants. He said he feels like a ghost, like she doesn't see him. So it could be that maybe he works 60, 70 hours. I don't know. And she doesn't say anything about it. She doesn't give him his flowers. I remember, I'm not going to put any names out or anything like that, but I was watching a speaker speak, or a preacher preach actually. And he was like, when I get off the pulpit, I would want my wife to say you preached a good message, but that's one thing that I had to speak up about. And you would think that as the wife, you would say, "Hey, baby, that was a good message today," or "That was a great sermon today," or And some people need that. Like everybody else may tell him that he's good, but if his wife don't tell him that he's good,
she's giving him affection that she wants to give him, not the way she's giving him what she wants to give him, not what he wants.
That's
Right?
actually
So he's feeling left out. That is. I'm saying is, maybe I can help me make it make sense to me. I'm a little bit confused.
Whatever she calls affection, he's not receiving it because he doesn't see it as affection. He doesn't see that.
Could be she cooked for the kids and she cooked for you, but she's really not doing anything to make you
you're close. You're close.
To put you.
You're very close. She could be doing for the kids, and that should be enough affection for him because she's taking care of his kids. She might think that's part of her affection. Hey, I'm taking care of your house.
Isn't that the deal? Isn't that the deal?
But the men want more from their wives. They want their marriage is not the center of their household. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to understand. What is it that he's? Because I think King or was it you, Sean, was talking about respect? It could be respect. That makes sense. The respect part makes sense. But they were using the word affection
because
I think what he wanted. And why I said respect, he been telling her this for a long time. He been telling her how screwed up she is. He wanted to get the therapist to co-sign what he's been trying to relay in so many different ways. And because the therapist can't do that, he's sitting there stuck again. That's why he ain't saying that. He's hoping because he sees it. He sees the therapist. He sees the therapist agreeing with him. But she just can't say it.
I don't think that he knows how to plainly convey it, because to say that you feel like a ghost means that she is not acknowledging your presence in that house at all. You like Casper up in there. Like she's not acknowledging you at all. So that's an extreme to me. So it's like, okay, now you got to break this extreme down to a woman who probably thinks, well, I'm doing a lot in the house. I'm overwhelmed. I'm like a robot. And you're saying that I don't see you. So what exactly are you really trying to say to me? If I'm giving you affection, right? He says, well, you think that I need affection. Well, if that's not what you need, and a lot of men need affection, they want to get it drained. Like, what else am I not doing? And I think that he's probably having a hard time really communicating what that is to her and to the therapist.
I'm in somewhat of agreement with that, but I don't think the therapist is trying to lead aside, because I've done therapy in my life, and a great therapist that does their job, I agree They're not supposed to side. They're supposed to be arbitrary, but they're supposed to leave the breadcrumbs with questions so that you can use thought. Okay, when you question somebody on why they're doing something, a lot of people don't do that. Like when you get in an argument, what is it about me that makes you mad? Most people can't tell you. You understand? And that's an effective therapist would put you through those tests. Okay, so you're not giving him affection. Do you know what type of affection that he's looking for, that he's tried to convey to you, and allow you to answer the question? Because when
Well,
you start piling up, you're not going to get the response that you're looking for from the two parties that wish to fix the issue.
what I observed is what I observed is he said he felt like a ghost, right? He explained it, and she goes, well, but I feel like a robot. I think what the therapist was trying to do was to get her to see him in that little moment, right? In that little moment, she couldn't even see him. Well, I feel like I'm a ghost around the house. You with the boys, and I feel like I'm a robot. You're still not seeing him. So obviously, she's not acknowledging any words that are coming out his mouth, I guess. However, he explains, you know how men will say, I don't care if I yell it to you, if I whisper it to you, if I do this, you're still not hearing me. You're still not listening to what I'm saying. And I think that could be the issue there. And I think that's what the therapist was trying to do before she walked down the road of, well, okay, well, if you're showing him affection, what are some other instances, or if she's showing you affection, what are some other instances where you feel like a ghost? But even in that instance where he's trying to explain it, she's still not seeing him. Meaning she's not playing into what he just said. Oh, so you feel like a ghost? Why do you feel that way? How do I make you feel that way? What do I do that makes you feel that way? She's wanting the wife, she's trying to help the wife go down that road of, you gonna have to do this yourself. Like, you can't, every time he say something to you, can't say, well, I feel like a robot. That's not how you effectively communicate, especially when you ask them a question. You're not even exploring his answer, and that's what I say. She don't see him. She's not exploring anything that he has to say to her.
Agreed.
And both parties in the relationship, both parties want to be seen, and he had already acknowledged that he sees her being a robot, and he acknowledges that. He verbally said that. I believe it's what you guys said, that he is tapped out, because when somebody is emotionally pouring into you and you're not emotionally pouring into them, or maybe your both emotional wells have run dry, where do you pull it from? Where do you now, refresh the waters from? Where is this now coming from? Or are the wells run dry? And now you're giving each other sour vinegar at this point. to sip on, So I think
somebody's got to be the bigger person,
right.
That's where it comes in. I mean, those impact, you either believe that, because it doesn't sound to me that they should have such an insurmountable thing that's going on. I mean, I don't hear nothing about infidelity. I don't hear about this or that. It's a communication issue that they have. And it seems like neither one of them want to, kind of say what they really mean in front of the other one. Or maybe she always misunderstands. But I think she clearly is giving him something the way she wants to give it to him. And he's not accepting that because he wants something different. And he, like you said, he doesn't seem like he could clearly articulate what that different is. And if he has, he didn't do it in the therapist's office.
So if he couldn't do it in therapy, what makes you think he was able to do it at home?
No, he obviously ain't doing it at home. He's just not. I mean, so I don't know how they're in crosshairs like that. Okay, so there's one you think. I completely don't know how come they can't get it together.
They need to go to individual therapy, so that they can then come together. Because sometimes when you're in the presence of that person who agitates the hell out of you, Sometimes you just don't know how to get it out. Sometimes maybe you don't want to get it out right then and there because you feel yourself, getting triggered. You feel the emotions. Y'all said we all see that he couldn't look at her, right?
Well, I don't know about
He's at his wit's end with it. And so sometimes you do need that individual time, that one-on-one time with that therapist to say, hey, look, I've been trying to say, maybe I'm not saying it right. Maybe if I, tell you enough, you can kind of help me express this to her, and not in the same room or whatever, but he'll be able to, I always say, expand your vocabulary. I always say that, like, you have to learn more words. You have to learn new words, but not only expanding your vocabulary, but actually sitting with your feelings and knowing how that makes you feel. You know how they make you feel, but how do you feel in it? What does it makes it feel like for you sitting in that? And so maybe he needs to express that first before he can then say, okay, she is the cause of this feeling. Or maybe I'm not, like Trey said, he may be the kind of person that needs a little bit of extra TLC. And maybe she's not that woman to give him that. There are some men who want to be coddled, who want to be pet, who want to be, baby, you gotta pay attention to me 24/7. And if you don't, I'm gonna feel like you cheating, or you doing something else, or you giving everybody else more of your time than you giving me your time. And maybe that was an issue in the beginning, and nobody said we shouldn't be together, but they got together, they had kids, and now the issue that was the issue in the beginning is a bigger issue because now
yes, not enough people understand what really makes their partners tick, and be able to give that to them. So it's not just like, if King likes to hear, hey, you're the man, and that does it for me, then cuddling isn't going to be the thing that works for me. But if my significant other, wife, whoever likes to cuddle and don't give a damn about hearing that she's the woman, then I have to ensure that I'm giving her the thing that makes her tick as well. And if she's not getting that, it can lead to that drift. I didn't get that. I didn't understand that in my 20s. It took me getting older to understand that it's not just about my wants and desires, but truly understanding what the other person wants as well, and having the ability to give that to her.
Made a great point. That's communication and compromise. That's what's lacking there. What I didn't see was the therapist expand on, oh, I feel like a ghost. Tell me more. Go deeper. What do you mean, ghost? Pull her aside. Oh, I feel like a robot. Let's break that down. Tell me the elements that's going on in your household that dictates why you feel like a robot. See question format, and then you get to it. If it doesn't go anywhere, if it don't go anywhere, it don't go anywhere. Then you break them up and you do singles therapy one by one. But I would agree, he looked like he's at his wit's end, but he's there. We don't know if he's mandated to be there, but he's there. So without all the extras, you'd be like, I'm gonna give it one last chance to see if we can fix this problem. That's what I see him being on the couch. Even though his body language tells he wish he could be any other place but there, I would like to think optimistically that he's trying to salvage something he's invested his time, his mental, and his physical in.
Hey, Kenneth.
Fantasia.
Hey, Kenneth, hold on. Hey, Kenneth, I'm sorry. I wasn't laughing at you. I saw Trey's face, and it just made me laugh because I had a thought inside of my head. Trey, I don't know you. I'm just meeting you. You know what I'm saying? Cool. I'm really curious though. I'm going to lead with this. I learned a lot in my 14-year failed marriage. It was a failed marriage. It lasted 14 years. In my opinion, that's a good run. You know what I'm saying? That's a good run. But I learned a lot from it. I'm curious for what you're looking for. What's the definition of a successful, I'm going to assume, monogamous relationship? If monogamy is what you're looking for.
That we die married. That would
Okay.
be success. The success, it's not. Put it this way: I won't be here on this earth to talk about the success.
That's your
She
measure.
won't be, and she won't be on this earth to talk about the success either. It'll be our kids and our grandkids that will be able to talk about our successful marriage.
That's your measure of success. All right.
Because here's the thing, and the reason why I say that, King, is the reason why I have not gotten married because I take this shit seriously. It's not a joke to me. And so if I'm going to get married, I get married to one woman, one time. That's it. And that's all. This isn't a thing. I had Oprah was married 3 times. Like, nah, I don't want that. That's not the life I want for me. I've never even proposed to a woman because I've never gotten that far. We've never gotten that far. If I'm going to propose to you, it's because I'm saying to you, I believe in till death do us part. I believe in that. I believe in all the vows. And if I'm going to suppress my sexual nature and want to go out and have sex with all these women to be with you, I have to take these vows seriously and I have to believe in them. And I have yet to find the woman that I feel believes in them as much as I do. I think that women, there's always an out for them. I have yet to connect with that woman that has gave me that warm and fuzzy, like she feels the same way I feel about this. There is no out in this. Outside of abuse, physical abuse, I can understand that, right? But there's no out in this. You fuck with me, you stuck with me type shit, right? Like that's it. That's how this works. And everything else we can work through. This whole, like, I'm sitting here thinking about it, like this counseling shit, like this ain't me. I don't like, if we gotta sit on a couch, this shit, it's a wrap. It's done. Throw the whole marriage away. It's done. Like, you mean to tell me you and I, like, I feel the same way about child support. So you mean to tell me you and I made this baby together? There was no judge in the room. There was no lawyers. It was me and you in this room rocking. And now all of a sudden the two of us as adults can't sit down and work out what's best for this child? That's craziness to me, right? The same thing in my marriage. Okay, the two of us are in this. We decided to make these vows to one another. Things are going to get heated. People are going to say some things they probably don't mean from time to time, right? But at what point in time do we sit down, we communicate, and we figure this shit out, we work it out, and we press on, because it is till death do us part. So I see this, but at the same time, I'm looking at this, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm looking at his body language, and I'm like, this dude has been checked out for a while. Like, this ain't nothing new, and this whole being seen thing, that's not my thing. I'm sorry if I was a pastor and I came off the pulpit and I knew I just dropped bars and I knew that I just did my thing in the pulpit. I don't need my wife to say nothing because I know what I just did. She can say it if she wants to, but I know that I'm good at what I do. I'm sorry, that's just me.
Would you go to premarital counseling rather?
Absolutely, no. That's not. We doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
We no. That's mandatory. We doing that.
I don't agree in counseling after the fact, but the premarital, yes, 100%. There are things that can be discovered that y'all might not have gotten to yet that can be a barrier.
And I want somebody who's good at this, like somebody who can even look at me and say, you got to work on this. This is going to be a problem in your marriage. If you don't fix this, there's going to be a problem. I don't want the hunky-dory, kumbaya. I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want that. Tell me what it is, because I do want, remember, my vision of a successful marriage is till death do us part. So I want you to tell me so we can make it. I'm only 39, so I'm going to guess I probably got another 39 years left, give or take, right? For the next 30 plus years, I want this to work, right? I want this to be as low maintenance. I want this to be as the least amount of difficulty as possible. And I want that therapist, that counselor to say, you need to fix this or else the next 30 years is going to be difficult for you.
So, King, let me ask you a question. You said 14 years, right?
Yes, sir.
So what made you part amicably, if it was amicably?
It was. I've shared very publicly here on Precious's channel. We didn't use lawyers. We didn't use mediator. We sat down. We went to the courthouse ourselves to see what paperwork that was needed, and we did it without it being contentious or anything. How we got there is there wasn't a resolution in sight that I believe either one of us would have been happy knowing that we could give the other person what it was that they needed. What's interesting is that Precious's title is called Why You Switched Up on Me. My opinion, and my ex watches my stream sometime, So she's going to hear this. She may disagree with me. I don't care. My opinion was that I thought at some point she did change up the game. And then I'm playing whack-a-mole trying to figure out, well, what am I supposed to be doing to ensure that this thing can continue going forward? Even though she was the one that asked before I did, if things kept going and we didn't find a resolution, and I didn't get to the point where I feel like I'm always playing whack-a-mole when if you say that this is the thing that's an issue and I come over here and take care of this, 2 seconds later, there's going to be this other new thing. I would have likely gotten to that same point because I felt like I got tired of always trying to play catch up and playing whack-a-mole on things. So it wasn't infidelity or anything, because I think that would have been harder to overcome if it was anything like that. She was feeling a lack of intimacy, and I didn't want to give her intimacy because I'm like, why am I giving you something when I'm not getting what I need? And we couldn't find a resolution.
So, King, to add on to what I asked, did you do therapy?
Individually, yes.
Not together.
We did. I did individual therapy. We also did 7 joint couples counseling sessions with a therapist.
Oh, and the verdict was part amicably after that.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Hey, were you ever sitting in one of those, like maybe the third or fourth, going, this shit ain't going nowhere?
There was some hope initially because I thought that the things that we were coming out of, I could see it being applied by her and me. I raise my hand and say that there were some points that I'm like, hey, oh, she ain't doing the thing. So then I go, why do I need to do the thing if I don't see her doing the thing? That about number 5 is when that kind of came up.
And you just said the thing.
Wow.
Why am I doing the thing if she not doing the thing?
That's interesting.
Is that and I'm not talking about you, King, because you know you've been long gone since then. But speaking realistically, I think that women change up because of that. You not doing a thing, I'm not going to do the thing. We just not going to do the thing, right? And when women are with men and get married to men, you know, men want you to not necessarily leave your post when it comes to taking care of the kids and cooking and cleaning and taking care of him and making sure he's okay. You guys aren't really going to go for it if she leaves her post, right? You're not going to, if she stops cooking, if she stopped having sex with you like that, you like, what's up? Right? And now Taylor King said, well, why am I going to do the thing? If she's not going to do the thing, then we just not going to do the thing. And I don't know what the thing is, but a lot of times the thing is actually emotionally submitting to your spouse. And a lot of times one person or the other, I think our Payne said it earlier, somebody just got to be the bigger person, right? And the woman always thinks that the man is going to be the bigger person because that's who you signed up to be. You signed up to be the bigger person. And
oh man, that's a whole lot.
You signed up to be the bigger person. And so when a woman switches up, in my opinion, it's because you don't want to be the bigger person anymore. And now you want the little person to become the bigger person. Now, I do believe that both parties need to learn how to apologize, need to learn how to come back to the table and say, okay, it's been however long. I want to revisit this. Are you up to revisiting this? Right now, one or two of the parties going to do that. However, again, you signed up to be the bigger person. So whenever she's not doing whatever you want her to do or desire her to do, you have to keep in your mind, but I signed up to be the bigger person. So if I got to push a little bit harder, that's what I got to do. If I got to, and by all means, I know some things just don't work out with folks. You just cannot work it out. You just cannot work it out, right? But it has to be a mental Olympic that you do with yourself because that's what you signed up to do. So then when you're actually in it, and the woman stopped having sex with you, she stopped doing all the things, right? It's because somewhere emotionally you stopped. And a woman is not going to go past a threshold when a man stops doing things emotionally. That guy that got 3 women made it all about those women. What are you doing? You at the game. I want to see you. He fed into that emotion. And I'm not saying to give women whatever they want, whenever they want it, however they want it. That's not what I'm saying. But just like women have a finesse in how they use their femininity into getting what they want, the same goes for men when he signs up to be a husband and to be that bigger person. You use that power to be able to get your woman to emotionally regulate. She's not going to always be emotionally regulated. And that's part of being the man that you signed up for, the husband, the leader, the one in charge, the one under God, the person she's supposed to look up to and say, when I'm not doing it, when I don't have enough strength inside of me, I'm looking to you to do it. And if you can't do it, just be honest with me and tell me you can't. I can't hold it against you because sometimes I'm on 0 too. Sometimes I'm on empty too. But just be honest with me.
Can I chime in, Precious? Because you're absolutely right. That's why men and women are not partners in a marriage. What you just said absolutely means that's why we're not partners, because we are called as men. Our obligation is to keep the family together. That doesn't absolve the woman of her thing. And when I talk about this, people don't get it. I believe women have an emotional bank account that you need to fill into, right? And if you feel like your leadership and your ego is being stroked because you fill into your woman's bank account, that's your problem. You're not supposed to feel that way. So I've been married to my wife for a long time. And I understand that I have to fill in that emotional bank account because I do drain that shit. I drain it. I take advantage of that shit all the time. I did some. I'll tell you a quick story. I'm gonna get off. One day I came down. I gave my wife a card for some event, right? So a Valentine's Day card or whatever. So I come down. I didn't even read it. I just picked the shit up. So I come downstairs, and she's crying. I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "This is such a beautiful card." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "Yeah, that's it." That's it. Yeah, I just thought about you, blah, 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 my ass off. I said, I'm not going to blow this check. I said, yeah, that's all right. That, because I'm hugging and I'm reading and shit behind her back. So, oh my God, this shit is good. I took full credit for it. And because all I knew was that I could do no wrong for like almost a week and shit. And so that wasn't fair, but I joked about it with her before, afterward. But I do stuff for her because she always does stuff for me, always. And so I make sure that I never let that emotional currency drain. I always do that. Make sure that I put something in there, and it don't have to be money. It's just little things. And so, but you're right. I agree with you 100%. Maybe some men won't, but I agree with you. But you got to be direct. That's what this guy wasn't doing. Hun, we got this issue, right? I feel like I'm a ghost. You may be thinking you're giving me what I want, but it's not hitting the mark. I don't know what it is. And you got to talk it out. You got to keep talking until you come to some understanding. That's if your marriage still means something to you. I'm looking this way, but I need to look that way. But anyway, so anyhow, so I don't know, but I agree with what you said. I do. The trade out. You want to stay married forever, dude? You're gonna have to learn that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm done.
Mr. Payne.
Yes.
You made valid points on why that. I'm in that same boat. I've yet to be married, but I made a promise I wouldn't be like with someone that I'm not gonna stick it out with. And I've watched like friends of mine go through like turmoil. Some of them have real tangible, real successful marriages. A lot of them don't. and it is compromise and conversation. And I've been around the good ones, the bad ones, the fights, and all kind of stuff like that. And I'm like, that doesn't discourage me. It gives like a foundation for like, okay, if if I jump this broom and I take these vows, that's forever. So when I see that and I'm asked questions about that compromise and conversation, maybe he's a beta male. Maybe he's not that one to stand on his square and be like, look, I took vows. I'm not going nowhere. We got to fix it. Matter of fact, before we go to sleep, he might not be that type of guy. Not every situation is, a monolith when it comes to marriage. A lot of guys ain't romantic anymore. You can't be buns off a belly with your girl.
Yeah, a lot of men would think that's being simpish nowadays,
Every man is a simp.
Yeah, but you can't
Because
simp for your wife.
a simp as defined, you're doing what you're doing to please that woman that piques your interest. If you break it down to just the basic terms of it, you're doing what you need to do to pique the interest of that woman that you're pursuing. If you're not taking her nowhere, if you're not pouring into her, if you're not uplifting her, telling her she's beautiful, doing all those things that come within courting a woman to get to someplace with the woman, if it's something that you wish to cleave to. If you define simping, the majority of that's what you're doing to get that woman. So I really don't like that term. So I'm there like, oh, okay. Because at the end of the day, most people that call you a simp, they ain't got nothing to go home to but a cold pillow and a Wonder Bread sandwich.
Not the Wonder Bread.
You can't simp for your wife anyway. She's already she's giving you loyalty and she's giving you commitment. So you can't. I've never understood that when people call married men simps. I've always wondered, well, how's that? He has a wife. That's weird. You know what I mean? That's weird. It would be the single man who's out here running around jumping through hoops for a woman that doesn't want him. He would be simp. Not the married man who has a wife that he goes home to. But anyway, here's the thing. I do kind of agree with Kim for a little bit. I think that maybe this man he don't stand on business enough for her, and there's something about him that's turned him off. That's turned her off to him. Something about him that she's just not feeling anymore, and maybe that's why he's feeling like a ghost in his own home. But she's not paying attention. She's not paying attention to him because when you that dude, when you got sauce like we saw the other guy, when you got it, you got it. You know what I mean? And women are naturally attracted to that. They like that, even if even if they got to share you. If they got to share you. They'll put up with it. So, I think there's something about him that's not resonating with her anymore, and I think there's something about her that he feels as though she's not doing. And you got two people who are colliding head to head, and I'm looking at my life as a single man, like, I don't have to put up with this crap. So why would I want to jump? You know what I mean? Like, because that's a part of marriage. Like, I would be fooling myself to think that I would get married and at some point in time, we're not going to have some of the same issues. Maybe not exactly the same, but we're going to have some issues down the road. You know what I mean? I mean, no marriage is perfect. So, I want to say I feel bad for the guy, but his body language to me, like I said before, it seems as though my man is done and it has been done. He out here. I feel like the judge told him go take a couple sessions. He's like, man, I just got to get through this shit. I'm just gonna get through it. They got the cameras on me. This was showtime. I'm just gonna get through it, and then I'm out of here. I got a little young thing waiting on me anyway.
Yes.
Doing jail on the weekends, child.
That's funny.
He look like doing jail on the weekends.
That's funny. What's interesting is, Trey, I agree with you. One thing that I'll point out though, she doesn't. You said she doesn't feel him anymore. My issue is that anymore part, which is to each his own. But that you're not going to love somebody all the time. You're not going to be feeling somebody all the time. But he obviously has sauce at one point or another that she felt was tasty. Now, when it's no longer exhilarating or whatever the case may be anymore, she don't like him anymore. That's what, to your point, you can't get into marriages and not really honor those vows to the fullest. And that I commend you on why you didn't get married. I'm in the same place. Because if you take those vows seriously, then there is no room for he don't like her anymore.
The point though, Sean, is here's the danger he runs. If she's clocked out, and it's something about women. When they're over you, you ain't winning it back, man. You're done. He's close. He's close for her completely saying, you know what, no matter what you do, you ain't gonna, the bubble's gone, because even if you try to recapture it, if it's not real, you're just doing it to keep the marriage together, she'll feel that. So I'm just saying, whatever you need to do to fix this thing, maybe therapy was part of it, but he's not really showing. I mean, not that she's blameless, but there's something about what he's not doing for her that she's holding against him. It's just obvious to me.
Yeah, because
I agree.
Women, we give access. I mean, not to say that men don't give access, but you guys are y'all enter. So, y'all break down walls, y'all stand out and beat your chest and things like that. But she's not giving him an access that he desperately needs. He desperately needs whatever type of access he needs from her. She is cutting it all the way off.
And she knows, fully aware. And she's fully aware.
Right. There's a reason. And I'm not saying that she's right, though, because
neither am I.
Right. At the end of the day, you're married. And so you're cheating him just like he's cheating you. Right. I believe that when you're married, there is no, well, you gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, and because you ain't doing it, I ain't gonna do it. No, I don't think that's for marriage. I don't think that's for marriage. I think that's
I agree.
See that there is no reciprocation. Well, you ain't doing it, well, I ain't gonna do it, because why should I? I think that's what that is for. But when you're married, there is no, well, I'm not going to do this because you ain't doing it, because I vow to be here with you when you don't feel like doing it, when you got a mental episode, when you sick. We did a whole marriage series, for better, for worse, and sickness and health. We did a whole series on it. So in marriage, that's not the time to be like, oh, well, I'm like a robot and you're like a ghost. Well, you know what? Tell me why you're like a ghost. And it's something about women. It's something about her where she has her defenses up, because if you can make a woman comfortable, then she will talk to you. If you can make her feel protected and safe, she will talk to you, because that's what she naturally will succumb to when it's given to her. That's why they say women naturally submit to a man who is confident, who is assertive, who has all those qualities, because it's a natural thing for her to then just lay down her walls and allow you to enter. So there's another thing where she's leaving her walls up, where she's not even allowing that comfort zone to be a thing.
Okay.
Like
you're absolutely right.
On the same ground as me.
You're absolutely right, but part of it is a lot of times women, y'all get scared and y'all don't want to admit it. And so that guard that you have up is to protect yourself. I get it, but in a marriage, if you're afraid of your husband, but you ain't sitting there saying you're afraid of your husband, but you're acting it out, you're not talking with him, you're closing the doors of communication, that's a poor excuse on you, and you need to fix that. She's
not afraid of him. She don't respect him. When
I get it.
You what's going on, and you say, well, I feel like a robot. That's saying F you and whatever you got to say, because that's how I feel. And I don't care what you got.
I agree. I said that earlier, but ain't nobody holding her to the fire that she needs to respect. And that's the problem. You sitting there, we're witnessing, we see it. He says it. I'm sure he said it plenty of time, but ain't nobody telling her to get it through her head. And we continuously say, "Oh well, she checked out, and there's a reason." There ain't no reason for that, and we need to stop giving that outlet for the excuse. And we do it often. We do it often, especially.
There has to be a reason she checked out. Women she's just not going to not continue to do what she's doing just out of nowhere. There is a reason that she checked out.
I understand that, and nobody's holding her to the fire to that reason. Is my point. It's absolutely a reason.
Right, well, she's supposed to hold herself to that fire. That's why I also said that they should go to separate counseling, individual counseling, because doing it together in the height of their miscommunication, they're not being able to communicate with one another, doing it together in that height, in that depth of what they're going through is almost counterproductive. It's almost like, you know how I always say, like, when I clean my closets and change for the seasons and the clothes and things gotta get messy before it get better, right? Like, before I can have a clear closet and know where every single thing is, I gotta tear everything up first. I gotta take everything out the drawers, everything out the closet. I gotta turn my closet. It gotta get messy before it gets better. And what they're doing is they're going to couples counseling, and it's going to get messy because now they have to sit down and talk to a third party about what's going on, when in all actuality, I think that they should go individually and then come to a date where it's just like, okay, I'm able to talk now. I'm able to communicate with you. I have the resources. I have it in my toolbox to actually get this out. I know how to communicate the feelings that I have, and I know how to communicate the miscommunications that we keep going through. I know how to characterize it now. I know how to verbalize it now. That's what therapy does. It gives you the tools and the activities, because they give you a book, they give you activities to do, whether they're together or separately. I went to a Christian counselor, so it was Christian based at that. So you're doing things that are supposed to enhance and help you in communication. But when you sit there like that and you can't even look at her and y'all are having a conversation, that means you need time alone. You need time alone. And I don't think they should be forced to do it together. I don't think that should be something that is forced, because that will also suppress how you're truly feeling as well. I think you should have the freedom and the liberty to be able to say what you need to say with you and that other person behind closed doors.
Should the therapist say, listen, I recommend you guys split up?
I think so, yes.
A therapist
didn't happen in
Are they
ours.
allowed to say that?
Yeah, it didn't happen in ours.
But it's not off the table. They can suggest that, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's a good ask right there. But as we speak and broach further into this topic, I'm finding, and I don't want to be slanted, I'm putting more credence on her, because when it was mentioned that she feels like a robot, and that took me back to when Michelle Obama said there was 10 years in the marriage when she was raising Sasha and Aaliyah, where she didn't like Barack. But she said she realized that sometimes it has to be 70-30, 60-40, and then you get through it. It's not for the faint of heart. When you're putting adversity in a marriage, you signed a contract for better or for worse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how is that being conveyed in that relationship? I agree with you, Precious. She don't respect them. But how did it get there? Because it wasn't originally there. You didn't marry somebody that didn't respect you off rip. Where was the signs? How did it get to the point where he's completely like, okay, we could agree, he looks checked out. She looks frustrated, but she's still doing what she's doing. And I'm wondering when I read that article and it played the part on her, that she realized her duty. Remember Kevin Samuel said something one time, a woman's duty. A man is not supposed to provide you happiness. Once you're married, it's your duty. And I agree with part of that. You know what you signed up for.
Yeah, he obviously didn't read the signs. I mean, listen, I mean, I don't want to put it all on him, but there's signs. I mean, there's signs your woman gives you. If you missed a bubble, you know, it doesn't have to get this bad, but that women give you signs. I mean, and you talk to them and you try to find out. I mean, you should be able to feel that certain things are slipping away, and you can't do that if you're worrying about what she's not giving you above why she's not doing it, you know, all of a sudden. So it probably didn't happen overnight. Sometimes it's subtle. And, you know, sometimes people, you know, one of the things I always thought about is if you have this long marriage, you just have to see certain things. You know, I could tell certain things when my wife is a little frustrated about maybe not me or about a situation. And, or if it's me, you know, I would say, hey, listen, let's talk about this thing, you know. And sometimes she deflects, you know, she got passive aggressive behavior sometimes, and I just say, listen, you know, if I need something from you, it's not the time for you to tell me all the things I didn't do wrong, I'm not doing right. Listen to what I'm saying, and then after I'm done, you can give me your list. All right, so let's take care of this stuff first, and then we'll get to your list. So if you have something I wasn't doing, how come you didn't grab me and tell me, right? Because I tell her all the time, I'm an open book. You could come to me and say, listen, I need this from you, I need that from you, but don't wait for me to talk to you. Then all of a sudden now you got this big book of shit I didn't do.
I think women always have the, you know, when women are babies or little girls, they have that, I know I'm wrong, but are you still going to love me type of attitude. I know I'm wrong, but are you still going to love me? And if you are still going to love me, how are you going to show it in this instance? How are you going to show up in this instance? And men want to know the same thing. Men want to know the same thing because men are at one point were little boys, right? And they wanted to know how they mama was going to show up, how they woman was going to show up. Because it's just natural. Fathers take care of their daughters. They make sure they're good. They make sure they're educated. They make sure they're disciplined. They make sure all of those things, right? And so even as children, you test your parents. Even God wants us to test me. Test me. Test me so I can show you who I really am. Right? So it's that feeling for men and for women. But women have to understand that men are not going to always react the way that you want them to. Men are not going to always acquiesce to every single thing that you need them to. And so it's the balance between the two and learning how to communicate and really getting to know each other, really seeing each other. And like you said, Arpain, you saw things in your wife, and I said it earlier, you guys see things in each other that no one off the street can look at you and see. You see those things. You don't even have to speak them. You know how somebody say they've been with somebody long enough, they look at them across the room and they already know what they thinking. They already know. They ain't even got to say nothing. That's how we have to study and be into the people that we're with. Because it shouldn't be well, I feel like a ghost and I feel like a robot. Now, yes, you do naturally, you know, or you should be able to get those things off your chest, but they shouldn't be roadblocks for you. They shouldn't be instances where you're sitting in a therapy session and one can't even look at the other. And you know how much that actually hurts a woman when her man can't look at her, don't want to show no emotion towards. I'm going to play this other video that I have, and then I'm going to play the last one real quick. We're just going to go through this one because this one is crazy. Now, this one is my video that I had posted on social media that's getting a buzz around TikTok and Instagram, Facebook. But then I paired it with another video of a woman of why she divorced her husband. And it seems drastic. It seems very drastic. But this is what can happen when you don't realize or you take for granted, you know, a woman and not really taking into consideration how important it is to be emotionally stable with that woman.
And say you change, what does that mean? I mean, did you stop giving him some? Did your attitude change? What is the real reason why you would have switched up on him? Because I just heard that a man divorced his wife because she changed. Attitude changed. They both liked football at the time. That started to change. She didn't want to have sex with him as much. That changed. So to the married woman, what exactly is it that changed within you that now you're becoming lesser of who you were when y'all first got married?
Now, I feel like it's drastic to divorce your husband over that. But what I will say is some marriages don't even need to be marriages. Some certain things just don't even need to start because they already have an end date. And so if you with somebody who's providing for you, he's protecting you, he's making you feel safe, and he's not the person that's going to fill you up emotionally, then you shouldn't be with him. You shouldn't be with that man because it's going to crash and burn at some point in time. You want an even balance. You want to be with somebody who has an even balance of things. And that's why money is not always, people be like, oh, I want him to make 6 figures. Well, if he's 6 figures and abuses you or verbally abuses you or don't care nothing about you, but wants you to be in the house as a woman on his arm when he steps out, then do those 6 figures really matter? And then you have the people that's like, well, I'll cry in a mansion rather than in an apartment. And they don't like the person that they married to, but they knew this before they even got married to this person. So for that woman to divorce her husband because he didn't emotionally make her feel important or fill her emotional tank whatsoever, that's just a relationship that y'all probably should have just stayed friends, or maybe y'all should have y'all never should have had friends with benefits and turned it into marriage, whatever it was. Because if you cannot fill each other, you don't need to be with each other. You don't need to be with each other. It has to me, I believe it has to be a healthy balance. And you have women nowadays saying they are getting divorced because they're not happy. No, you should have never made that decision in the first place.
This ties into what you talked about last week, where you shared that video of the lady with the tattoo on her neck from Kendra G that said that she married a guy, she had a kid with him, but he was boring, and she basically wanted a thuggish, ruggish type dude. That guy seemed to have, for whatever, he picked wrong. All right. Yet I still don't know where the agency lies in this, because she accepted it. So in the video that you're sharing now, she accepted something at the time. And what men are seeing out here is, okay, you're okay with this here, but then you're eventually going to hit this bait and switch down the line. And it's starting to give more men pause on trying to accept someone that they want to make a decision to, as he says, bless with their last name. I don't know how we fix that.
Well, you said it. Women need to stop accepting things that they really don't want. That's it. Stop accepting things that you really don't want. Yeah, you may want a man to provide for you, but if y'all can't laugh every now and again, if he can't, listen to certain things that you have going on, if y'all can't have any type of intimacy, then he it's almost like he's renting you. And you're renting him.
Hey, so was she a chameleon, or did he ignore some red flags? I mean, one way or the other. I don't know how long they've been married, though. Did she say how long they were married?
No.
No. So, because for her to switch up on him like that, it was something that he missed from the beginning, or she was just a chameleon and she wanted to be married just for to go through the process, and maybe she thought she might be able to cleave to this guy and make a go of it, but she found out that that's not true, because she mentioned that he was a provider, and women still want that, right? So I just think that she said, it's still not enough. I gotta have that oomph, right? A lot of women say that shit all the time, And but here's what I do believe. I hate to sound like this, but a woman has to be enamored with her man. I don't want to say more than he is with her, but the guy has to be comfortable, and he has to have an inner knowing that she thinks he's her number one. Because when a woman marries you, but she just says, and they use the word settle, but if she marries you and you're not really her number one, at some point in a relationship, she's going to let you know,
Yeah.
and you don't want to have your lady with her eye on the wall. So if you marry her that's why I told men, don't marry just for love. Don't marry for love. I mean, that's part of it because it's in the vows, but it shouldn't be at the top of the list. And you got to be pretty damn sure that that woman thinks you're the one for her. Because if she doesn't, it's going to come back to haunt you. It just will. It just will. And that doesn't say she has to love you more than you love her. I don't know how you measure that. But she's got to look at you as the guy that she wants to be with. Because everything she does, everything my wife does in our marriage and everything I do for her is because we still choose to do it. It's that we got to make those choices all the time. Do you cheat? No. Why? Because I don't like the way women look? No, because I choose not to do it. Because the way I would have to do it, I would be a real cheater. I would have to cultivate relationships. I'm not going to do that while I'm married. And my wife, she's older, a little older now, but at one point she had to be getting hit on all the time. Why you don't cheat on your husband? Because I don't want to. Because that, if she doesn't say that, it certainly ain't nothing I did. So anyway, she just didn't want to.
Something
So
about
that's
that
how
video. Sorry about that. Something about that video just don't sit right with me. A man of means. She said I could have been well kept, but I didn't want that. The guys that I know that are men of means, that they do what they want because they have the option. You either roll with my plan or see you later. It's just something she could be speaking genuinely, but it's something that just don't sound right about the gist of her, the body language. When he started asking her certain questions, I could have been kept, but that's not what I want. But she couldn't be specific as for what. And I think she thought she had a idea of the situation she was stepping in, and she didn't know that she was just an option.
Well, I mean, the women are doing, look at TMR, women are doing it all day. They're divorcing their husbands because they're not happy, right? And I think that you have to be happy on your own, and the person that you're with has to add to that happiness, which means you have to be whole. You have to be whole. And I think that women who go into relationships and get a divorce and say, oh, well, I'm not happy, is because they didn't go into it whole. They didn't have boundaries, and so they were accepting what they didn't want to really accept because they didn't have boundaries within themselves. And then they get a divorce and say, oh, well, now I'm gonna love on me. Well, now you're 40. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, and my thing is, I said it last show or the show before, stay single till you truly love a man. It's okay. It's all right.
You know, y'all.
Stay single till you really feel it. Don't get it because everybody wants you to be married or because he got all this money. Like I said before, if you don't really like him, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work.
I mean, y'all are being really nice. Y'all are being really nice about this. At the end of the day, she's the modern woman, and the modern women choose their feelings and their emotions over everything else. Nothing else matters. The only thing that matters is how you feel. They were raised and told your feelings matter from the moment they were a child. I catch people in my family telling my daughter that she's 5. Your feelings, no. Your feelings don't trump anything. Because when you start to you start to move based on your feelings and emotions, you make mistakes. Like leaving a man who wasn't cheating on you, abusing you, and providing for you. You make mistakes. At the end of the day, the issue is that these women prioritize how they feel over everything. It does not matter how tall you are. It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how good of a man you are. It does not matter. What they prioritize is how they feel, not how you make them feel, how they feel. So the real thing that we should be telling women is, don't get married until you understand that your feelings and emotions are not the priority here. Until you understand that concept, don't get married. Because it's not about how you feel. Anybody here know what the hedonic treadmill or the hedonic adaptation is? Anybody know what that is?
Never heard of
This is the theory that things can actually make you happy. People always say money can't make you happy or person can make you happy. No, that's bullshit. It absolutely can make you happy. When I bought my house, happy as a fly on shit. Very happy. Okay? You can be happy. However, it does not sustain happiness. A woman can make me happy, but can she do it day in and day out for 365 days a year? No, absolutely not. And it's unrealistic and ridiculous to even ask her to do something that crazy. So yes, from time to time, can we do some things that'll make me happy? Of course, absolutely. But that's not her responsibility to maintain my happiness. My feelings and emotions are my responsibility, and I also have to understand they are not the priority. The marriage is the priority. The health of the family is the priority. So we talk about women and men getting married, and when you understand that concept, and like I said, I haven't found a woman who understands this concept. My last relationship was, I'm not happy. Well, fuck it, go be happy somewhere else then. And guess what? To this day, 4 years later, guess what? She's still not happy because she's been chasing this dragon that you cannot find because it doesn't work that way. So unfortunately, until we get a new crop of women who understand that your feelings don't come first, we can forget about it.
Well, I agree with that to a certain extent because that doesn't take away from the fact that there are men who just do not know how to emotionally bond with their wife. I mean, King said in his early 20s, he just didn't know how to give her what she needed, which was intimacy, or what was it, affection, or what was it?
Hers was intimacy, essentially.
Right. So, there are a group of men who just don't know what to do. They want to be married. They don't want to be in these streets no more. They're not trying to FaceTime 3 chicks and be like, hey, yo, what you doing tonight? Go up. They done with that life, right? But maybe they were that guy that had 3 chicks pull up, or they rolled up to 2 chicks' house, and they don't know how to emotionally cultivate a relationship with one person.
Right.
Because they've been with multiple people. Some of them been married before. Some of them done had kids with other people. And they just don't. For one, some men just don't have the confidence. And then for 2, if you have been that player man all your life, then trying to settle down with one person and get you to acclimate to one person could be difficult, because you used to going through 3 or 4 of them, or however many, and seeing whichever many on whatever weekend, and not really have to stay around and deal with it. You don't got to deal with that. But when
Yeah, but let's be honest. We're talking about a certain group of men. Most men can't do what that guy did on that video. Most men don't even have 3 women they can call right now. So he is an outlier for the most part.
There are men where they can call 3 women right now. There are men that exist.
Majority of men cannot call 3 women that will want to come sleep with them. Majority of men can't do that.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, even if they could call 1, right, and they call that 1 every 3 months, they're still not practicing an emotional relationship with her. They're not practicing that with her, but she is practicing that with him.
Well, why is the priority on emotions, though? That's what I don't understand.
Because women are emotional, and if you're going to deal with a woman,
but you're not the only one in the marriage.
Emotions.
Women are not the only one in the marriage.
Both parties need to be relationship ready and have enough emotional intelligence to understand themselves and the other person. If you don't understand the other person as well, long term it's not going to work.
But it does understanding, and I don't know how to exactly say that, but like, I can understand that you have an emotional need, but I don't have to fulfill it. I understand that you need it.
You do. If you're going to be
so.
a husband.
Well, why would you say that you don't need to fulfill it, Trey? Why would you?
Well, because to me, in my opinion, this is a bottomless pit. That for women with these emotions, you can never fill this up enough for her. And if she doesn't get what she wants at a certain point, she will leave.
Okay.
So at what point in time is enough enough?
Well,
when do you get enough emotional support? When do you get enough of these emotions? Or is this a constant thing that you're going to constantly keep meeting? 10 years from now, we still going to be talking about your emotional cup that needs to be filled.
No, by 10 years, you should know how to fill it. You should know when it's empty. You should know when it's getting down to the last drop. Within 10 years, you should know that. But I don't think that people actually get to that point, or they give up before they get to that point.
Practical example. When I said that my ex's thing was the intimacy, more specifically, it was physical touch, meaning this: when I was mad, I did not want to touch her. I did not want to hug her. I did not want to be around her, essentially. All right. It's let me cool off. Don't be up under me. Because physical touch was still her primary thing, that turned her off. That when there was static, like, she would still want to be around me or be under me or be touching me. And I cut that shit off. Not understanding that had I at least allowed her to still be up under me, get that physical touch, even when I still was like, I don't want that, things likely could have worked.
So the thought process is that you need to bend the knee then.
It's not really bending the knee. It's having an understanding.
An awareness.
Yeah, let me try. Trey, let me say this.
Again, you can be aware, but that doesn't mean I have to do it.
Trey, you don't have to. Trey, you don't have to.
I'm aware that the speed limit is 70. I don't do the fucking speed limit.
Trey, you don't have to fill a cup up to the top. You just don't.
It's not trying to get everything in that cup.
But my question is if she needs emotions and I don't need emotions, where's the middle ground?
But you do.
I don't. Listen, I am the most emotionally unavailable motherfucker you probably ever meet. I don't need it.
You can see that, Trey.
I don't need it. To be quite honest, I can be perfect. I could probably live the rest of my life with a friend with benefit and be happy. Honestly, what I need from a woman is purely sexually based. To be quite honest, to be really honest with you, me wanting to get married has more to do with what I see coming down the pipe as far as what's in these streets. Ain't shit in these streets. So my thing is I want to get off the streets, right? But it has nothing to do with I need an emotional connection and I need this from a woman. No, I don't need all that shit. Like you talking about the pastor coming out of the pulpit. I need words of affirmation. I don't need none of that. I don't need that words of affirmation shit.
You're not your next wife, but your wife is about to be like,
when your husband saw change, what does that mean?
Your wife, Trey, is about to be like this.
When a man's a provider, he's not.
He had everything. He provided everything. He could have set me up. That's about to be your wife, Trey. Okay? Because
but Precious, but this a thing though. I would never marry a woman who. See, a part of my vetting process is a few things. There's finances, right? There's a personal medical history portion, right? I need to know if your family got like debilitating diseases that are hereditary, shit like that, right? And then, but the other part of this is how you deal and manage with your emotions. How important are they to you? I'm not saying I don't want a woman who's emotionless. Obviously, no, that's crazy, right? But this idea that her emotions come before everything, I wouldn't even deal with that woman.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even deal with that woman.
And I agree with you on that. My addendum is this: for me, the biggest thing for me is acts of service. You can slide my knob 24/7, 365. Not you, a lady. Pause. All right. 24/7, 365. But that physical touch, that intimacy, that's not my primary driver. Give me the acts of service is what works for me. She needs to understand that. So if she doesn't do that for me, then I'm out. I'm likely that person that's going to check out because she doesn't understand that acts of service is what I need. So it's not necessarily, she don't have to be a slave to my acts of service requirement at all.
But do you have to be a slave to her emotional needs?
No, you just have to understand it.
The verbiage.
Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. If I understand them,
the verbiage.
If I understand her emotional needs, but I don't give them to her, am I wrong?
Oh my God, Trey.
Am I wrong,
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this question. How do you judge?
Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why I don't want to give them to her?
Why?
Because I am a firm believer about precedence with women. There's a reason why you don't take her to a $500 restaurant the first time, because guess what? That's what she'll think she'll want from here on out, right? So if you start to fill this in, the moment she's gonna be like, oh, okay, all I have to do is do this. I see my daughter do this all the time. My daughter will try little things to see if she can. I'm gonna go in my room and I'm gonna act mad and I'm gonna close my door and see if Dad cares. Daddy don't give a damn, girl. You in the room by yourself now. And eventually she'll come walking back out. Okay, that didn't work. I feel like grown women are sort of saying they're gonna try to. Okay, what's going to work? Okay, this is what to get an emotional response from him, I got to do this. To get him to give me more emotion, I got to do this. No, we're not doing all that.
No, I think that a woman should be vocal in what she needs, unless she just don't want it from you. But again,
that's a lot.
You are aware.
I fucked Chris up on that.
How do you say you want something for sex? How do you want to, just because sex, you can have a sexual relationship with nothing else, and how do you drive that with any kind of marriage? So maybe, like you said, maybe you should just stay single.
Again, Arpan, you're hearing what you want to hear, because that's not what I said. I said that I would be perfectly okay with a friends with benefit, and I didn't have to get married. I didn't say I wanted to get married just for sex.
No, I didn't say it. Maybe I misspoke. I'm saying that if you said something about if you just had sex, it'll be all right with you.
You would be fine with either or.
Right. So, I'm not saying that you said anything wrong. Yeah, friends with benefits is cool. If you could do that for a lifetime, but there's women out there that might take you up on that, especially in these times.
Yeah. But I just think that it's very unloving to know what your spouse needs and to not give it to them.
I agree.
It's very unloving.
Even if I know it's to the detriment of our marriage.
Well, then you manage it the way that it needs to be managed, but don't withhold it from her.
Well, that sounds like manipulation, Precious.
No, it's not manipulation. Just like women use femininity to get what they want, men need to learn how to manage her emotional side to get what you want.
Yeah, but we cool with femininity. We like femininity. A woman being feminine don't bother me.
Right. It don't bother you, and it also gets whatever she wants out of you.
Yeah, but I'm getting what I want too. I'm getting femininity.
Right. But if you're able to help her regulate her emotions, you'll get a lot more sex. You'll get a lot more head. You'll get a lot more than what you're getting, because if you're in that position to help her do that and you don't, you're only cheating yourself. Now, she might learn it and she may get it from another man, but if you know that you can offer that to her and you know you don't have to give it all to her, but you can give it to her in bits and pieces to actually help her learn and actually be the leader, the teacher, the coach, the ref, the everything that she needs, you're not going to just give it all to her, but you allow her to you let her believe he understands where I'm coming from. And because he can do that, he can still reel me in. He know I get crazy. I remember one time I was on a cruise and it was a group of us and then another group of us, and we all hung together. Well, we were on the ship one night and we were in the club part underneath the ship or whatever. And so someone had bought me a drink and I was a little tipsy. I ain't even gonna lie. Someone had bought me a drink and they had left it on the counter, like they didn't give it to me. And I'm like, how you gonna give me a drink? You're not even gonna give it to me. And and somebody was with me and they was like, look, we've been doing good this whole time. And you out here wilding over a drink. And I had to pull myself together, like, you know what, you're right. We have been out here having a good time. We've been, you know what I mean? I'm tripping. But you also need a woman who's going to be able to recognize that too. You know, you need a woman that's going to be able to recognize that. And if she can't recognize that, then you as a man need to find different ways. Communication sometimes has to be different. Sometimes it has to be fun. Sometimes it has to be spontaneous, because when you come into the situations where you don't know how to deal with it, then you won't deal with it. You just won't deal with it. So you have to have situations where it's just like, all right, I know she tripping. I'm not going to let it bother me. I'm not going to let it knock me off of my square. Let me go buy her a bottle of wine and give it to her. Let me go, like something small. It's very minute. It's not something, it's not a grand gesture. Women don't need grand gestures. Now, the big booty Judy hoes do. The BBL ones, they want grand gestures. But someone who is just having an off day and needs companionship from her spouse, that's a different story. Because he have it in him that day, whereas she may be on 20, he on 70. And if you have it to give it.
Sounds like difficulty. Goodness gracious, you sound so difficult. She need wine. She need a hug. She need a kiss.
Can I ask you another question, man? Girl. Can I ask you another question, Trey? How come you don't? Have you taken your baby's mother out for just a drink since y'all been split? I mean, she seems like your longest relationship, even though you're split.
No, she's not.
Gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I
did. That's funny.
Well, here's the thing. RP, take out for a drink and do what?
I mean, talk to her. I don't know. I mean,
let me ask you a question.
I'm not trying to get you back together. I'm just saying, have you ever done it? That's all I'm thinking. Have you done that?
No, I haven't done it, and I never will. Okay. If a woman took you, if a woman cost you $27,000 in lawyer fees, would you take her out for a drink?
I don't know. I don't know. After 5 years of sharing the daughter, talking to each other, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, if she wants to reimburse me for attorney fees, by all means. But, no, I had to hire a family attorney because of her.
No, I hear you. I mean, I hear you. That's too fresh.
There's no drink. I probably would throw the drink in her lap or on her blouse or something. But I don't. No, listen. Here's the thing. I said this before, because people will say that, like, oh, you're mean to her. Yeah, I am. When you file child support paperwork, that's a war. You started a war. And people don't want to understand, especially women. Women think that this is going to be like amicable and we're just going to be able to work this out. And the judge is going to be, and everybody's going to be friendly. Hell no, you started a war. Especially when you're an active dad. I was not one of these dads who wasn't around. I had my daughter 3 days a week, every single week. I was not running away from my responsibilities at all as a father. And she decided to do this because we could not agree on daycare and we could not agree on a schedule. She wanted a different schedule that was more beneficial to her. I disagreed with the schedule and wanted to keep it the way it was. So she decided to run to court. And it cost me 27 grand. No, this is war. I don't have nothing nice to say to her. We keep it very, very quick, neat, and cordial. And we keep it moving. So no drinks. No drinks. I wouldn't buy her a free cup of water.
So Trey, let me ask you a question.
Hey, don't do all that. Don't do all that because you impregnated her. But go ahead, Kenneth.
At the time I impregnated her, you couldn't tell me that she didn't walk on water. That's the honest truth.
Now she drowning in it, huh?
I would hope that a shark will pull her to the bottom of
the
Wow.
We don't speak of those heathenists.
No. I mean it in a way that she did something that was unnecessary.
Unnecessary, yeah.
That's what I mean. I mean that the dragging me to court was unnecessary because I wasn't an absent father.
So, how did it get there? And is there any accountability on your part for how it went?
As far as what? The relationship or the going to court part?
The relationship, how it got from her being your holy grail.
The relationship part I've taken accountability for. I'm not the type of person that likes to deal with difficulties in a relationship. So once you start bringing drama and bullshit to me, I shut down. I stonewall you. I don't even want to talk to you. Go away. Go away. Go away. And I play a lot of golf. So I can be gone for 4 to 5 hours a day on the golf course and turn my phone off. Leave me alone. So when there's drama, and because especially when it's made out of nothing, like it was just popping up out of thin air, and I'd be like, we don't really have problems. And what was happening is that she had friends who were single moms or were having baby daddy issues, and she wasn't a part of that club because the father of her child was active and present, and we were all living in the same house. So she couldn't relate. So it to me, it's almost as though she started to engineer issues. She started to, almost sabotage. It wasn't there. If she wanted to go work, we were both cops. She wanted to go work overtime, go work. I didn't stop you. Most men would have a problem with it. What are you working more overtime? You don't need to work overtime. I never stood in the way. You want to go work? Go work. You want to take that mandatory assignment? Go there. You want to be on the emergency response team as a first female? Let's go to the gym. Let's get into work. I told you couldn't tell me that she didn't walk on water. I thought she was the most beautiful thing in the world. She was natural, no lashes, no fake hair, no nails, hardly wore makeup. She had a track body. She ran track at Southern University. She was exactly what I was looking for. Exactly what I was looking for. But what I quickly realized is that there was a thing. I have this thing where I said that women are AVA. They need acceptance, validation, and attention. She was one of those types of women, and I did not see that early. So there was always a need to be accepted. There was always the need for validation, and there was always a need for attention from her. And what happened was that she wasn't getting the amount of attention from me within our relationship. Partly my fault, partly hers, but we were working a lot. You have to remember, I worked during the time of Freddie Gray, Alton Sterling, Black Lives Matter. We were working a lot in DC too. A lot of protests were happening. A lot of this and that. Philando Castile. A lot of protests were happening every other week. Trump got elected while I was on duty. A lot was going on. So we were working a lot. And yes, there were some days where after you work a 10, 12, 14-hour shift, you don't really want to come home and be the lovey-dovey boyfriend. You want to go to sleep because you got 6 hours before you have to go back and go do it again. And vice versa. She was the same way. She had to go, it would happen. The same thing would happen to her. I'll tell you the truth. The honest truth is,
okay, let's go.
And she hates that I say this, but this is the truth. Our daughter ruined our relationship, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean that in that the responsibility of her changed because we had her in 2018, right around the time she's starting to walk and get older. C-19 hits, so she wasn't in daycares. Right, there was nowhere to take her. So we had to work that schedule out, right? So it wound up happening, whereas we would work our schedule out so that we had 2 to 3 days to ourselves to work together. Now our schedules were overlapping, right? The days that she was off work, she was at home with the baby. The days I was off work, I was at home with the baby. And we were barely seeing each other, which means that we weren't working on our relationship anymore. and it faltered for that. It faltered because of that, because we weren't able to work on it. So I always make the joke. I'm not blaming it on our daughter, but our relationship prior to our daughter coming, we were in the gym every day working out. We were eating. We were hanging out. We were like this, right? We would meet up on duty. Hey, if we got 10 minutes to spend together, we would eat our lunch together on duty. She was in her cruiser, I was in mine. You know what I mean? We would make it work. But when our daughter came, things changed. The priorities changed. And unfortunately, our relationship took a toll on it. And this is where the accountability comes in, Kenneth. It's my fault because I let it happen. I didn't do enough to make sure that it kept going the way it should have.
Well, thank you for taking accountability, Trey. That's all we can ask for.
Trey, everyone's human.
And I said the same thing too.
There's an echo.
I don't know if that's on me. Let me mute myself.
I think it was you. I do want to, but do you have something to say, King? Because I want to close out with this last video. Are we better? No, I think you're still muted. Yeah, you're still muted. Let me mute for y'all. Hear my stomach growl. Golly. But I do want to. Okay, I do want to play this last video, and then we're gonna get to final thoughts. But someone sent me this video, and I feel like this woman couldn't have said it any better. I was actually convicted watching this video because there are things that I can do better. There are things that everybody can do better. But I saw this, and she talked about being married for 10 years and some things that she realized. So I just wanted to close out the show with this video and just give everyone someone to think about on the way out. King, are you good now before we go to that video?
Test 1 2. We in the building. Bet.
Did you want to say anything, or you want to get to the video? You good?
No, we can roll.
Okay. Let me go back to the beginning of it.
I'll be married for 10 years, and I've learned some things about myself being married to this man that I call my husband. Number one, I ain't always right. You see, before my husband, I was living this very independent, can't nobody tell me nothing type of life. And that was amazing. But when I got married, this mirror got put up to my face constantly, and I was forced to have self-awareness, self-reflect, and realize that I don't have all the answers and I ain't always right. Number two, I realized that people handle criticism and conflict very differently. You see, I want to process things right now. I want to figure out the resolution right now. And my husband ain't like that. He's the type of man that is respectful enough to say, I need a minute. I hear you, but I need a minute to process what you just told me because I don't want to give you an unfinished thought. You see, I had to relieve my controlling spirit to want to control him, to want to control our argument, and to want to essentially control our relationship my way. I had to learn to give my husband his space and be respectful of that. And number three, I learned that love isn't about horoscopes matching and love languages and none of that. You see, I learned with my husband that real love is surrender. Real love is stripping yourself and figuring out who you actually are, unpacking your trauma and figuring out who you are at your core so that you can be that for yourself first and then be the best version for them and your family. True love is forgiveness. True love is raw, it's real, and you don't want to miss it. You understand?
Wanted to play that video as we close out because I think that kind of tied everything up in a nice little bow. You know, we all as men and women have to come to a place where we are able to, and my pastor actually talked about this on Sunday, where we have to locate ourselves, right? We want to do better. We want to accelerate. We want to improve. We want to just be better in relationships, but we have to locate ourselves. And her being married for 10 years, it seemed as though she did a good job locating herself. So she was able to, you know, continuously travel in the road called marriage with her husband. So I just wanted to play that, and hopefully someone was able to take some bits and pieces of it. Like I said, it convicted me because we all have areas where we need to improve. But I do want to go with final thoughts. We'll start with Kenny, and then we'll work our way to Trey, up to Arpain, and then to the co-host.
I think That lady spoke with conviction. She spoke from the heart. She spoke her truth, and it's believable. I believe you can't be devoid of emotion. I believe that you still have to be that man that emulates that strength that she can cleave into. And everything is solid. And I believe a lot of that is missing nowadays from present relationships. Getting back to the old tenants that had your grandparents and your great grandparents married 50, 60, 70 years, just like mine's did. And that's the kind of thing that needs to be more out there, but it presently isn't. But I'm an optimist, and hopefully things change and we can have better discussions about more successful unions moving forward.
Thank you, and I appreciate you for being on the panel this evening. Trey, your final thoughts?
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always a good time. Um, 10 years is a long time, boy. I'm glad she figured it out. If that ain't better late than never is personified. I'm glad she got it figured out. But I will say this, though. Good on her for sharing it. I think women actually figure out secrets to marriage and they get quiet about it. They don't want to tell the other women, hey, you're not right about everything. And you're going to learn that. So good. Kudos to her for making a video to let women know a few things that she's learned along the way. I don't think men really have this problem. I think men, married men will tell you, hey, look, these are the things that I learned along the way. These are the pitfalls and mistakes that I made, so that you can, put it in your toolbox or let it go. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. But it's nice to see a woman to say, hey, these things are some things that I learned over the last 10 years, and maybe they will work for you going forward. I venture to say that there's just not a lot of women that care to listen these days, and that's just unfortunate. And I'm optimistic like Kenny is. I hope that things will change. I do think that as certain movements gain exposure and gain more momentum, I think women in America, I'm already starting to see it. I was going to mention this earlier, but within the last couple of weeks, I know of a few women that have gone home. They've gotten back with their baby daddies. They've gone back home, and I've been telling them, yeah, it's cold out here, ain't it? It's getting real cold out here. Time to go back home to your baby daddy. I think a lot of women are starting to realize. I'm starting to see a lot of videos about, I don't want to be independent. I don't want to work. I want a man. I want to cook. I want to clean. I want to do. Yeah, it's getting cold out here. So hopefully there is a changing of the guard. I think 2024 is going to be an interesting year to begin with because it's an election year and we got 2 wars going on anyway. So it's already going to be interesting. But I think some of the women here need to wake up a little bit and realize that it's freezing out here, and a lot of y'all are out here with no clothes on, you butt naked out here. And the house, we got heat over here. It's nice and warm in here in this house, and a lot of women are welcome into these men's houses because a lot of them are looking for marriage. We actually are looking to want to get married. So we'll see what happens. But I'm optimistic. But it's always a good time chopping it up with y'all.
Thank you. I appreciate you for being here. Arpain?
It's just the same guy who beat my ass about talking about women wanting to get married just a little while ago. He doesn't do that. I agree with Trey what he said. So here's my thing, and it's a lot of women who used to say, "Well, I'm strong and independent now. I want somebody to cleave to." And you're starting to hear it more and more and more. So it is encouraging. And one of the things I think that women had to get used to was that in these spaces where you are making a little bit more money, and not the education part, but the actual money to say, I don't need a man's provision the way I used to. I think women had to get them to grips to what that really means, because in any relationship with a guy, he's just more. He's got 4 P's, not just one, right? And maybe provision doesn't take the same form as just money. It might have a provision to keep you comfortable, safe, and not just from a protection standpoint, but sometimes you just want a guy to say, shit, you know what? I just want to lean on your shoulder and just hold me and shit all night, that kind of stuff. And so it gets lonely, especially if you're just being used by men, back and forth, and they just like you for sexual attention instead of anything else. So I think women are, and this lady, if it took her 10 years, then kudos to her husband for waiting around that long for her to get it. you know, and I think more and more women are getting it. You know, I've noticed a lot of videos. I copy them and say that the women tell it, and a lot of women are starting to say different things to other women, especially black women. We need more and more sisters to do that. It can't just be like a you or Crimson Cure and a few others. It needs to be a whole cadre of women starting to say, "Hey, what you're doing is wrong, and here's why." Not just what is wrong, but here's why. And I think it's happening. I credit the men, by the way, for us starting to stand on our square. You know, it's good to see men starting to stand up. Not the guys who are stuck in red pill rage, but the guys who are standing up and say, "Listen, this is what I expect from you as a woman, and you either take that or you leave it." And you know, some women are starting to say, "Well, you know, I don't know if I really want to leave it because I think I like where that guy's going." And I'll land it there. Thanks for letting me up.
Thank you, Arpane. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. And last but definitely not least, my magnificent co-host, Lord, I saw Black Lexicon in the chat. Actual King Smith, your final thoughts, sir?
Man, I had all this time to figure out what I wanted to say. And as each of the guys down here, Kenneth, Arpane, and Trey said something, it sparked different thoughts. I'm going to try and summarize this in maybe like a minute. What the last lady said is something that my lady, when I asked her today, I said, you know, what does it take to come to a relationship ready? And I asked her to give me her answer on what she thinks women need to come to the relationship being relationship ready. And her first words were the same thing that one lady said: surrender, being able to be submissive to someone. And I followed that up with a very specific question. And I said, okay, are you to be submissive to your man before marriage and understand that before marriage? Or are you surrendering to your man that you are looking, if you have a desire for marriage, to be married to? And she said that can be a slippery slope type of question, because you shouldn't just be out here ready to just be submissive to every man. That's not what she's saying. But being able to come to a relationship from a submissive mindset is one of the key tenets to being able to be relationship ready if you would like to and desire a monogamous relationship. And I found that point interesting. I don't think that too many of the ladies that are out there today understand that, because they want to have their cake and eat it too. And I think that when more women understand that, I think they'll be able to better achieve the desired results for what they're looking for as well. And I say all of this, the stuff that I talk about here, this isn't just between myself, the people on the panel, the chat, and whoever catches it on YouTube. I'm having conversations with my daughter about certain things. Now, I don't know what her mom talks about specifically, right? And we do come together to have an understanding of, hey, like, what are you saying? How are you saying it? Because if we were in the same household, it would be something that we share. So we do have a common thing that we at least try to understand what the other person's saying. But this stuff, when I came out of my divorce, I thought it was all doom and gloom for all relationships going forward. I had to get past my red pill rage. All right. I still see elements of things that give me pause for a majority. And I'm not sure how we course correct the majority to be able to have more healthier relationships. That's where I'll land my plane on.
All right. Well, I think we had a great evening tonight. It was a great show. I really enjoyed you guys being here. Thank you so much for the chat, everyone who participated and sent a chat in and your perspective. Why you switch up on me? My final thoughts would be, King, when you were talking and you were talking about your lady and how she says that, you should come into the relationship kind of like with a submission type of posture and spirit. And I think that a lot of women cannot come into a relationship surrendering to a man because they haven't surrendered, you know, their friends. They haven't surrendered. I believe that we all should have a relationship with God in whatever type of capacity that is. You know, I know God for myself, you know God for yourself. I can't tell you what that looked like and what it should sound like, or I can't tell you what it is, but you have to have that relationship just like I have to have that relationship. And a lot of women, they want to have a lot of relationships with man after man after man after man, yet they haven't surrendered their, you know, old friends that they shouldn't be hanging out with anymore. They haven't surrendered the trauma that happened to them, that they continue to bleed on other people that didn't cut them. They don't surrender to just shutting up. They don't surrender to shutting their mouths. It's a lot of little things that if women learn to surrender to, then it would be easier to go into a relationship with a submission type of heart. And I mean, I believe that submission is biblical anyway, honestly. I truly do. I think that submission is biblical. And once you understand and you're aware of that principle, because it's a principle, and I think that we all should live our lives under some type of principles, standards, and beliefs. When you live your life underneath of that principle, then no one can really knock you off of that square of that principle of what you believe. And so a lot of women don't believe in anything. They just believe that they can do it on their own, that they don't need a man, that they can say whatever they want, they can wear whatever they want, they can eat whatever they want and look however they want. And those aren't principles that you that are healthy to live by when you're trying to be in a union with another partner, or with another person, I should say, because I don't like that partner word, but with another person. So I believe that once women surrender to what they know that they need to let go, it'll be easier to let a man in. And that's what women in essence do. Y'all, we let a man enters and we let you in. And in this day and age, women are letting too many damn men in. And like Arpain said, now you have no virtue to love one man, because you comparing that man to the last man, to the last man, to the last man, to the last man. So be okay with giving it up. Be okay with, like she said, not being right. That's the part that convicted me. I'm not right all the time. So I can't act like I'm right all the time. I can't move like I'm right all the time. And so that's something that I have to work on. So that's why I wanted to play that video, because I think we all can learn from that video, and we all can take something away where we're able to say, you know what, I can work on that. That's something that I can definitely work on. So I think that when women are able to surrender their bad habits, their bad mouths, their bad wigs, and their bad clothing, they'll be able to submit to a man, because now you down to your bare necessities, you down to the bare, to your nakedness, right? And that was the issue in the garden. When God asked Adam where he was, God knew where he was, but God wanted Adam to tell him where he was. And that's the thing. Women don't want to tell you where they are, because they don't want to take the time to find themselves before you find them. And that's the difference between when you find a wife, you find a good thing. Well, if she hasn't found herself, you haven't found a wife. So those are my final thoughts. Again, I appreciate everyone. You guys definitely like the video. If you haven't shared this live, definitely send a Cash App if you like, so I can get some coffee in the morning, Michelle 1500. But I enjoyed you guys. Again, the chat, I see Stephen TeJoy came in. I see you in the building. I see you in the building. Black Lexicon says your real friends show up when you're at your worst. Yes, and the person that you with should be a real friend. The person that you are with should be your real friend. Somebody that could say, you slipping and I need you to straighten up. We've been doing good all this time. Like me on the boat. We've been doing good all this time, and now you want to show your ass. Somebody had to tell me to straighten up. Okay. And that's another thing. Women need to listen. You need to listen. I remember somebody told me, you angry, you need to go to counseling. I was like, you know what? You're right. I do need to sit on somebody's couch. I'm a little angry. Okay. I don't care what fly out my mouth. And now I'm not like that. Honestly, I'd probably be quiet more than I speak because I don't want anything to just fly out of my mouth. So that's another area where I have to work at. Because I'll ghost you in a second. Like, look, I need to think about this. I don't care what you're doing, how you feeling. I need to think about this and how I should move next. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We will be back next Monday with another great topic. But I appreciate you guys for your perspectives and for making the show a good one always, every Monday. Again, thank you, King, for being a great co-host. And thank you guys again in the chat. Jason Nelson, thank you so much for being here. Quincy says, you always seem poised. Well, you know, something to think about. Says, them Eagles fans are angry, though. Look. Okay.
They're in trouble. They're in trouble.
This too shall pass. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. Okay.
I tried to tell you.
Yeah, they're in trouble, boy.
Godly. But again, I appreciate you guys. You guys know what I say on the way out every single show. Be real with yourself so you can be real with others. You guys have a great evening. Happy Tuesday.
Night, everybody.